put my thumbs down.
Why can I do that? Oh, can people hear us?
Yeah, and they can now hear us.
Does
now.
that mean
We're
that
now
means
live.
the people can now
Yeah.
hear us?
Hey, Wander Spirit, thank you for the subscribing for 7 whole months.
We're not playing Dungeons and Dragons. If you saw the thing, we're just here to talk about stuff. We're here to talk about Dungeons and Dragons. And
guess what? Aaron is the one running this stream, so anything that goes wrong, it's his
all
fault.
on me. If you see horrible quality, I tend to lag a lot on my visuals.
This is Aaron's first time running the stream.
I'm learning.
You know,
okay?
Aaron, something that you should do, and it's gonna feel really weird for you.
Mm-hmm.
Something you should do is go into your settings for Zoom.
Oh, we're doing this now.
And mirror your video.
Oh, that is a thing. Oh God, but my things. Okay, so
and the only reason
I like it this way.
Well, the only reason I suggest that is because typically, the view on stream is up. Like typically, it's the other way around. Like
okay, all right.
Typically,
seriously,
however,
my bookshelf is on the right.
Yeah,
it's on the left for the stream
right now because it's from your perspective.
It looks like it's on your right from our perspective.
Here real quick. Okay.
Yeah.
On Zoom, though, for me, it looks like it's on his left, my right.
I've lost
What?
the settings button.
I'm lost.
The bookshelf is on the right side of his frame.
Right. But when it's
for us.
mirrored,
Yes, but it's on the
and then
left.
Have
on
mirror
the stream.
video already on.
Okay, well then flip.
So
flip,
turn
flip.
off mirror video.
Yep.
Welcome to Table Scraps, where we play games.
It's so funky. I kind of hate that.
So, Aaron, what exactly are we? Oh gosh, what is happening?
You should
Wait,
exit out. You should
hold
exit
on.
out of the settings tab.
Oh, wait, what?
what happened?
Oh, there we go. Yep,
Yeah.
we're good now. We're good now.
No. That was just to
Yeah.
switch the setting things. Look.
So here's the
Already
wacky
done.
thing. This feels weird.
What?
For this reason, what exactly are we doing today?
We're here to
Aaron?
talk, bro.
Exactly. There's no agenda. There's no story. There's no characters. It's just you, me, Lydia, Drew, and Aaron. Okay?
Well,
And that's strange.
I don't understand.
Grant.
What's so Grant, we get
I have
on
nobody
call
to
and talk
hide
all the
behind
time.
anymore.
Well, okay, so first top. Well, I should ask. Does anyone have any topics that they specifically want to talk about regarding the last episode or episodes previous? What you think
Oh
about?
gosh, there's
future
so much to talk
episodes?
about.
I mean,
we don't want to reveal too much.
I want to talk about everything. You know, I always want to talk about everything.
Lydia,
this is not a good
you
idea
do
to have
always
me
talk
here.
about
always wants tea. Lydia always wants tea, and so does
Absolutely.
Grant.
I love tea.
So okay,
Edward, get out of here.
I'm still hoping that I can convince DJ secretly to put a tactical tea set in the game for you.
I
This is
would
what I
very
tactical
much
tea
like
set?
that.
Yeah. So I went to a Ren fair a little while ago, and I bought this sick mug. But one of the stalls next to the sick mug thing had there was like a leather working tent. Like that's all they did. Like they had sick like custom armor and like arm braces and greaves and gloves, and like they had a full set of leather Roman armor. And
Wow.
one of the things that they had is
Dang.
they had a lot of like cosplay stuff too. So like potion belts and like bandoliers and things like that. And one of them was to be attached to either like a large belt or a bandolier or even just like a side strap kind of thing. Was a tactical. It was leather and it like wrapped around and stayed close to the body, and it just had a tea plate, tea cup, and then a full set of tea silverware, like the little tiny spoon and a little tiny fork. And I'm like, this is a tactical tea set. This is like a military grade, like in the field. You can be like, yes, Gov, pour me a cup
love
of
it.
tea. And it's all
I like to
want.
think that Edward's been through like 10 tea sets.
Oh yeah,
Because they just don't fare well.
well,
in
yeah.
the
I mean,
bag.
they're fragile. Like you need to keep them close to the body, away from
Yes.
danger. And I think it's just great because it's like everyone kind of has their like Track pulls on his white leather gloves, and like Cather pulls out his mighty blade, and then Renaya like pulls out, I don't know, Satan, and then and then in the background you just have Edward go and pull out a tiny little teeth. Yes. Like, I think it's just great.
So I have a theory.
Uh-oh.
Would you like to hear it?
I don't know.
Edward rolls low when he hasn't had his morning tea.
I don't. So
Here's the deal. I haven't tested the continuity on this theory. So it's quite possible that that's not always the case. But I like to think that the tea has some sort of influence on his ability to, do things well.
So
What do you think?
So I have a question for you, Grant.
Yeah.
How well did you do in the last episode?
I was kind of... I can't remember. I did pretty good, right?
Now, I know for a fact that you like rolled a natural 20 to like climb some rigging. Your rolls were above average.
They were good, and
Your
my role playing was
success-
super scuffed, but I don't...
No.
roll for that,
You
so-
were wild.
You
I
are
think
on fire.
this was my favorite Edward I think I have seen the entire show.
It was amazing.
I don't
love
know
it.
what was happening to
Was
me.
Crow's
For
Nest
those of you
Edward?
who don't know in the future, it was episode 40, the one we're talking
Episode
about.
40 anniversary episode. It was great.
Yeah.
Now, what is the likeliness that you routinely got your morning tea on the boat?
That's a good question. Now,
So maybe it's the tea that is
counterpoint,
limiting
right?
you.
Oh wait, yeah, because we were on the boat for a while
I mean,
prior
so,
to the fight.
yeah, when the fight
Right.
happened, we were like a week in.
But here's the point. When we arrived to the boat, the first time Edward climbed the ropes, they had previously left the inn, right? And then they went to the boat. Now, at the time of the monster, Edward, when he climbed down the ropes, rolled low.
No.
And then he
you didn't
fell.
roll low. You got knocked out.
Was that what happened? Oh, I
you
did
got
get
knocked
knocked
out.
out.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
you succeeded perfectly fine and then got yeeted by a dragon turtle.
I really did.
So I'm just saying, I think the tea limits you.
I gotta be honest, I was quite fearful for both Renaya and I because,
Same. Yeah.
dude, DJ had the power to one-shot both of us in that fight.
If I failed that Constitution save, Renai would have been out.
Isn't that wild? I hate it.
That would have made my
I
life
hate it.
much more
Like,
difficult.
well, like unconscious or dead?
Unconscious.
No, dead,
Yeah,
dude.
unconscious.
I think he
Yeah.
could have one-shotted us, legitimately, if he rolled really well. Because, wait, what's your max health, right?
Wait, who?
Mine
What?
Renaya.
39.
mine is 39, but then we had aid, so I was at 44. The damage was 46.
Okay. And I have 44, normally.
Yeah,
So he would have had to
I'm pretty
peak-
sure DJ already rolled
90.
above average
I mean, he's DJ.
for the damage.
Okay.
So
maybe we were safe.
honestly,
It
at
felt
this point,
scary, though.
I think it's pretty safe to say, we are outside of the instant death range.
I wouldn't be so
I
confident.
think the only one who's like in the instant death range is Renaya without aid.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, because
I'm just
okay,
saying,
you have
that's
39
good
hit points.
in some ways.
You have 39 hit points.
Yes.
So DJ rolled like what 48 or whatever. That was already rolling like above average.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm not saying that it would be easy. I'm just saying, so
So-
there is a
Yeah, yeah,
regardless
well,
of
okay,
how
yeah.
small the chance is, there's always a chance that he rolls maximum
Yes.
on all die.
Yes, that is true.
And
that
in
is
my
true.
experience, you should always just assume that the worst possible outcome should occur.
Yes, that is true. Yeah. What more so what I meant is like we are basically out of it. Like it would be very slim. There would be a very slim chance for what happened to Leshka to happen to the rest of the party at
Yes.
this point.
Yeah.
Track is,
Oh.
Dude, that
Track
was
is
so
almost out
funny.
of the range of a power word kill.
You are, which
One
is
more level.
which is ridiculous
outrageous.
because we're level 6 and you have 90 hit points.
93.
Like
So I'm not gonna lie, that kind of makes me sad. Track is a character that in a lot of ways is almost like meant to die. Like Track's character is 93 hit points. That's what he is. Is spread among the rest of the party. He is 93 hit points. which wasn't the intent. He was supposed to be like, I don't know, spread among like 70 hit points. 93 at level 6 is like, that's not.
It was supposed to be a more finite resource.
Well, yeah, right. Like.
And Aaron, do you roll for road?
I've rolled for.
Wait, no, you roll for health, right?
I'm in the top 10 percentile on D10s. I've
Yeah.
never rolled below a 9 or a 10 on health.
But
I mean,
legitimately, like we
somebody
joke,
else.
we joke a lot about like Aaron rolling low.
It's because
But
I do.
I think it's legitimately true.
It
So
does, yeah, it's
why
wild.
do you think that for some reason D10s are your hot
I think
types?
it's just like for Hannah it's D20s, right? Like that's what she does
Right.
well.
She literally rolled a max attack and damage one roll this
Look,
previous game.
That's just what she does. I'm just waiting for someone to come out with a D10 based RPG system where I can really shine. All right,
Aaron, you could do this.
I could always just make it myself. With my
You could.
well of time.
We could play it here. Table
Hey,
scraps.
Look, 2-3 years in the future, when you come out with the D10 based RPG system, it'll be a hit. I guarantee it.
Yeah,
Probably
Yeah, no,
ready.
it's so I have. This is accurate. I have never actually had a character die. I've been playing this game for like what, almost 10 years.
Probably a decade. Yeah.
Something like that, and I have never died. I have been in campaigns where it was explicit, like one-shots campaigns, where it is explicitly stated at the end of this session, your character will die, and I still lived.
Is it just because you're that good at the game, or do you think it's been just luck?
I don't know. I am a conniving jerk. Is really what the situation is, where I play the DM more than I play Dungeons and Dragons.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry. I was gonna say Renai was my first one, but then I was thinking back to like Sawyer. Sawyer technically died, right?
She did.
She
Well,
she died.
just, Bailey...
No, she didn't die. She went unconscious.
got
But
really close.
but it was we were in the one area where if you got to 0, you were dead.
I'm pretty sure
And then-
that both.
And then
Sawyer
Bailey
and
did
yes,
the
that's
thing,
right.
and it brought
That's
her
That's right.
back.
Yeah,
Bailey
that's
sacrificed
right.
himself.
Sawyer and Bailey Sawyer and
Bev.
and Bev both died.
Yeah,
We're talking about Between
Yes,
the Rows,
that's-
by the way.
That's right. That's
don't
right.
know.
Because at one point it was literally just Crowbar and Grant. It was just
Yeah.
Crowbar and Grant at one point until Bailey came back because of his
I made a promise.
becoming 20th level.
And then you immediately broke it. Immediately. You're like,
Hey,
Bev, I'll never
hey.
yell at you again. Cut to 2 minutes
I
later.
had to, man.
And you're like,
I had
You
to.
suck, Bev.
I made a promise with your paw.
I promised you. Ah.
Oh my
I love that
goodness.
it was also
Grant-
Midwest, and
Yeah,
then
Grant,
like
you're the worst.
and then there was like Southern accent.
To be
So
fair,
my
Yeah.
favorite part was that Aaron was first of all an evil mastermind, but
Oh
I
gosh,
really
yes.
enjoyed thoroughly being a little gremlin on the side. Like
Yeah, no,
I
so-
knew most of the bad things that were gonna happen.
So for those of you who don't know, Between the Rows basically spawned when Grant and I went to go get Taco Bell at 1 a.m. And we were sitting in my driveway because it was like, oh, it's now like 4 a.m. and we should like probably go home. But then we sat in my driveway and talked, and I mentioned how much I loved Midwestern Gothic horror. And he was like, yo, that sounds sick. I'm Grant. And so then over the
Good
course of
impression.
the next like month or two, we kept going back to this conversation, and we just slowly plotted out and like made and he has been around our hometown a lot more than I have, and like been to a lot of the creepy. I didn't really do anything when I was growing up, but Grant did, and so he was like, yo, have you ever been to this like abandoned factory? And I'm like, no, why would I have ever done that? He's like, I'm gonna drive you there, let's check it out. And I'm like, okay. And so a lot of the things that we're seeing were actually Grant being like, hey, did you know that about this thing? I did this research on Midwestern Gothic horror around Nebraska and stuff like that. So Grant contributed to a lot. I did not. I did tell him that I knew that at least one person would die. Which I knew it was Grant, because I was like, oh, this would be a cool piece of lore for him. Like, he's a paladin, and like, oh, let's put in the form in the field. Let's put this monster, and I was looking into it, and there was this little bit of lore that I read that it was like, if you hear your name spoken, you like instantly die. And it was like, oh, that's neat. That'll never come into play. And then Grant, I was like, hey Grant, what's your secret? At the start of Between the Rows, everyone had their kind of like secret thing that had occurred to them.
Oh no!
And then Grant was like, yeah, and as I was leaving, I heard him say, Bailey. And I'm like, well, Grant's gonna die.
And I'm pretty sure I literally said, like, I heard in the wind my name. Or something, like, literally
100%.
verbatim.
Yeah, you had said like
God.
oh yeah, I was in my field one day staying out too late, but I had to get some work done, and then I heard my name in the wind.
Exactly. And so Aaron had told me that somebody was going to die, and I'm pretty sure at that point I put together some pieces, at least, with like my grandfather and stuff. And so Grant, oh gosh, I'm gonna sound so horrible. Grant was partially hoping that Bailey would die
Look, I think in
because
some ways
of
that's
the pain it would cause.
Grant. I feel that, man. I'm saying, look.
Purely, as a player, he wanted to die purely because of the drama it would cause.
Yes, because you're a
Exactly.
little scumbag.
Well, here's the thing. You're a scumbag too,
I
Aaron.
know.
So it was
That's
a
why I
beautiful
killed you.
medley. It was a beautiful
Well,
medley of
to be fair
dissonance,
though,
and
it's
all
it
I
is-
wanted.
It's one thing for the DM to plan on killing a character. It's another thing for you planning your character to die.
Look, I already told you, man. Look, if Tarak dies, just know I'm okay with it. Not because I hate Tarak. I love Tarak, and I want Tarak
Yeah, no,
to live. But
but see,
Tarak
Aaron,
dies.
Yeah, you're okay with it. Grant wanted his character to
Oh,
die.
I'm gonna put Tarak in a lot of situations that will probably get him killed.
Well, that's
No.
kind of the point of Tarak, right?
No.
That's his job.
No.
Look,
He's like,
To be
"You
fair,
think you will be
fair,
safe."
adventuring is putting yourself in a situation
I mean,
where you're
yeah,
gonna die.
but I could have just
That's a good
said,
point.
"Hey, I'm gonna swoop down, grab Catherine, and then fly away." I didn't have to put myself in your position.
I mean, fair.
Now let's take a step back here.
Also, I'm really glad you did that.
That's what I'm here for, dude.
I really think for me that Between the Rows was my favorite thing that we've done. Like I really
was
think
really
that. It was really good.
It was really
And
good.
it was
It was a blast.
It was so fun to play. The DMing was on point. Dude, the NPCs, the locations, the story. It was great. The characters were all great.
My favorite thing is when we got to the one episode where it ended, and we're like, no, you can't end there. Like, you cannot end there. And they're like, well, we're gonna end there, but we'll keep playing and record the next one after it.
That was such a
We
late
went.
night.
4 a.m.
We went
right?
until like 4 a.m. for me, yeah.
That was
Oh
a
my
late
word.
night.
Oh yeah.
That was a
Two
really
back-to-back
late night.
sessions. That was
But
pretty
like,
crazy.
but literally, we
Sometimes-
ended it. We
you're all
ended
playing.
when
Hey,
with literally
man.
all of us except for Bev and
Yeah,
Ryan's
weren't there
character.
like people that
No,
were just
it was-
like on?
It
'Cause
was Bev.
well, no, because Ryan's character, he was still
No, he
conscious. He had,
had-
like one hit.
He had
point,
like
though.
one, right.
can't-
'cause
why am
I-
blanking
yeah,
on
I
his
just
We
name?
were
remember
all
that-
unconscious a lot.
I just remember that. Raise your hand if you're unconscious. Everybody's
Everyone.
hand.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
I loved when both Bailey and Grant, not me, the character that DJ played named Grant. Thanks, DJ.
Yeah, thanks for nubbing.
Bailey and Grant both smited, because they were both paladins. They smited the boss we were fighting from the
Right.
sky.
And we thought we
And
won.
we thought it died, and that was like the last of our spell slots.
was like,
Everyone was down, and then a second hit bar shows
Yeah,
up.
and then-
I
the
love
boss
myself a good
reskins.
second hit bar.
And you know the
God,
worst
this
part
sucked.
about that, for me personally, was the fact that you guys smited it. It fell over. It fell and landed right next to Crowbar. And so then the second health bar appears, and Crowbar is like by himself. It's just like,
I don't want to be this guy. I don't want to be this guy, but I
You're
kind of
totally
did it
being this
first. If you happen to have the Mythic Odyssey of Theros book from Dungeons and Dragons, there exists a several monsters in there. I believe there's 3 that have a special keyword Let's see, where is it? It's called a mythic encounter. Mythic encounters, specifically, let me see. Normally, let's use Arasta, the Arasta of the Endless Web, Spider Woman, real spooky.
A pasta?
Arasta, like a Rasta cat. Close enough. Among Us.
Yes! That's what I wanted. I didn't have the heart to say it, though.
Mythic encounters. Basically, when the monster dies, they get a second hit bar. If she is reduced to 0 hit points, she doesn't die or fall unconscious. Instead, she regains 200 hit points. In addition, her children swarm over her body to protect her, granting her 100 temporary hit points. I did it first. I don't want to say that Wizard of the Coast was like, oh, what's this little dumpy stream over here?
And yes, Wizards of the Coast was watching Between the Rows.
We don't need to get... There's already been drama of similar things to this. We don't need to...
No.
Wait a second, you mean to tell me that when they die, they not only regain health, but also an additional ability? Brilliant. And they were just like, oh, they're small enough, we don't have to tell them. I'm totally okay with it. I mean, don't do that all the time, but like...
Wizards of the Coast, 100%. If you're watching,
yes,
we know
because,
you are, because you
because Wizards
it's okay.
Definitely watching.
Love
this.
you guys.
We always
Aaron's
have like
smart.
one more viewer than I expect us to,
my God.
and I'm just saying, if it's Wizards of the Coast, reach out to me. I love
We
your company.
always
I think
have one more.
For the most part, I think you're great.
We always have that one extra one.
Yeah.
When it's not 3, it's 4.
Yeah, I'm like, oh man, but
We're
I
like,
only
who's
see 3
that
people in the
fourth
chat.
person?
It's an entire company, is what it is. But as we're on the topic, oh my God, Maz, your Wizard of the Coast is your alt. I knew it.
Wait, hold on. Maz, you are Wizards of the Coast?
Okay.
I mean, we've never seen them in the same room together.
That is fair. I've
That's
never
a good
seen
point.
Maz, you are the Wizard of the Coast?
Yeah.
The wizard himself?
The one?
Man.
Wait,
can't
Maz is kind of like mage.
They have Z in it.
And wait, you know who else has a
M
fish?
is W upside down.
Oh my God.
It's a fish.
But anyway, as we're on the topic,
As we were saying,
as we're on the topic of Between the Rows, so it's September right now. It's September, right? And
Yeah, it's September
that means
8th.
It's almost October, and October, if you guys all know,
Spoopy!
is the spoop season. And
Spoopy!
also, yes, with
Sorry.
the brand. Hey, Lydia, we met.
Whoa.
Spoopy!
But that's also the month of Between the Rows, because Between the Rows is spoopy.
Oh, is this the announcement?
Well, I'll announce it. Sure, no one watches this anyway. It's our first time. Wake me up.
Hey, Wizard of the Coast is watching us right
Wizards
now.
of the
What are you
Coast.
True.
talking
Hey,
about?
wizard, listen up. This is big
Well,
news.
they're going to be a bit upset. So, I would like... Some people have requested. Let me start it off that way. Some people, perhaps in this call right now, have requested, hey, Aaron, would you like to run another kind of like short mini campaign Between the Rows-esque? And my answer was like, I mean, yeah, I like tabletop RPGs. But right now, our schedule kind of wicked. Just in general, right now, what we've got going on, real busy. So there was a lot of work that went into the first Between the Rows. I don't know if
Like
we'd be
a
able
lot
to,
of
like a
work.
lot.
Like hours and hours
Like
and
who
hours.
would?
yeah, Grant and I, from the ground up, making some sort of music and soundtrack for it.
Lydia
And then
making the
Grant-
overlays and the graphics.
And then Grant taking additional time to edit
Yeah.
when we
It was
somehow
crazy.
managed to get us all together to record.
Mm-hmm. As we said, we were like, sometimes we were recording at like 4 a.m. That was accidental, but you know, it happens.
Well,
Worth it.
well, I'm pretty sure our average recording time though was like midnight.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
at
We
least.
Yeah,
started,
we
like,
went for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, because of that, we have a couple options. First off, I would love to add to the Between the Roads world. That's a thing that I would like. Kind of more on the lore of that. Sup, everyone who's just joining in. We're talking about Between the Roads. If you missed it, but I would love to add more to that world. Now, also, I have access to a different RPG that one of us here has played. Wait, no, it wasn't. Yeah, no, it was just.
It was Lydia.
It was just me?
Yeah, well, it was you, Ryan, and DJ. So no one else.
I'm
here
really,
has played.
I'm really sad I missed out on that though.
Oh, it was so fun.
But I have this. You might have seen it in the background if my video quality is good enough, which it probably isn't. I have this neat little book called Vicen. Super rad and RPG. And kind of the rule of it that I'm thinking of is, it's very different from how Dungeons & Dragons runs. Dungeons & Dragons is very like, fight the monster, you're superheroes, ha! Vicen is like, hi, my name is Bob, I am a bricklayer, and I have been cursed with the ability to see things that will inevitably kill me. Guess I'm here now. Which is great. There's very little power and stuff, but it's a very, very abrupt shift. So I'm thinking of it as if it's a direct sequel or a direct prequel that is located in Rock Creek.
With the same or very closely related characters.
So, I've come up with some names for these, and so in the next several years you may encounter some of these, calling it now. Between the Roads Origins, which would take place sometime in the 1865 to 67 range, which would be in Rock Creek.
Are you writing these down, Lydia?
No.
Oh, okay. It looked like you were.
I'm responding. Mass said, "What up? My name's Jared," and I just go, "Jared, no."
Jared's gone now.
Oh, poor Jared.
That hurt. That opened up a
character.
wound.
Jared.
That hurts so bad.
That's also deep dive.
I mean, yeah, it's just
Ow.
Maz,
I don't
Maz,
think Maz knows what.
I don't think Mass knows what just happened, but it
the fact that
hurt.
it relates so heavily to
do
the
we
topic.
do we have an exclamation point, Jared?
I don't think we
I'm
do.
Typing.
I don't think we do.
We have so many random.
I've been meaning to go through those.
We
do.
Wait, we do?
It's listen here, you wonderful weirdo.
Wait, it is.
Oh yes, I remember that line. Aw.
100%. We have commands
Oh my
for like
God, I'm
never knew
1,000 random things.
We do.
Like you
we
can
really
almost
do.
just put a command in for anything and it'll work.
So Maz, to explain while we're on the topic.
Wait, no, but we can't spoil
No,
it.
just watch the show.
Yeah, just watch
It's
the
way
show.
short.
It's
It's
only
like,
six
what?
episodes.
6 episodes?
If you
2
watch
hours long?
Between the Rows, you'll
It's
know.
literally on the podcast and on the YouTube.
So to explain Maz, Jared was one of the names of the characters from Between the Rows, and
Between
you
the
should go
Rows.
watch that.
And you should go watch it to see
Yeah.
why. Just why.
Listen
We still
here,
don't
you
know.
wonderful
We still
weirdo.
don't know why.
I mean, we know why.
It's because Aaron's a
I
little
know.
Because
scumbag.
Aaron's mean.
why. I am a horrible person, and that's why.
I think Aaron. Never mind.
I'm fine with it.
What?
I was gonna say I think Aaron told me that Jared was gonna disappear.
Grant, you can't say that!
You just said it. Although to be fair, we did already talk about how Bailey died.
Now,
Oh,
to
that's
be
fine.
clear, that is very vague statement on purpose. Nobody really knows what it means.
I mean,
Yep, and just how you were like, I would
Next
love
talk, let's go.
if Edward and Melora were like related somehow. Very vague, very vague.
Listen, that was way early. We're not getting into that.
But anyway, Between the Rows, we're talking about it. Between the Rows. Options for games to play. Now, right now, I don't want to do a Dungeons & Dragons one, because Dungeons & Dragons just takes so much longer to edit and do stuff with, and it's just, I don't think I have enough time to mentally put together multiple combats and figure out power scaling and stuff like that. Vicen is a bit easier to manage in that sense. So Between the Rose Origins and Between the Rose Sins of the Father, which is the sequel to Between the Rose. Probably not available to play. Out of options that I have for Vicen content, we have so there's Between the Rose 1871. That will follow Drew's character's backstory way back. Because Drew's character, Crowbar Jones, his family moved here from Chicago. So they would most likely take place in Chicago, Illinois.
Hey.
And then the other option, there's two others, is Between the Rose, Forgotten Sins, which would take place in Ireland, and that would follow the Patterson family, way back. Nilf, if we play in the Chicago one, I am so sorry for having no idea about anything about Chicago. I will do my best. But you are going to see things and you're going to go, that's not at all what Chicago was like in 1871. And I'm going to go, sorry.
It is now.
No, in this alternate reality, it's just what it is.
I mean, to be fair, if we did do Chicago in 1871, I don't think Vicen were the people who caused the fire.
I mean,
I guess we'll have to find out.
Yeah.
okay, no one really knows, but they assume it was a cow. That is canon real world lore. They think
That
it
is
was
canon in the real world.
Mrs. O'Leary, the cow, knocked over a lantern and started the Great Chicago Fire of 1871.
It's always the cows.
That is the theory.
Would I personally believe that? Or would I rather believe that there are awesome mystical creatures that desire the death of hundreds? I think that's way cooler.
That's a good one. Go with that one.
But then we have Forgotten Sins would follow the Patterson family back before they moved to America, back in Ireland. Exactly, no. Blame the Chicago Bulls.
A good point.
The third option, which is probably the wildest out of the options presented, would be... and I don't have as good of a name for this one, but basically Between the Rose Cyberpunk. Takes place in, like, 2666. In the future...
I want it to be like Cyborg Soarer. Just
that's totally a thing. Like, the characters are all like bionically enhanced, and like their technology is like developed like crazy far and stuff. But then you're still fighting like old world ghosts, and stuff like that, and like old world monsters that have been like forgotten because of technology.
Could I literally play a hologram?
You could play someone that does stuff with holograms, but you wouldn't be able to physically interact with the world.
We'll workshop it. Maybe nanobots. That's
you could just exist in virtual reality, where it's like you always have your headset on, so everything looks different to you.
I like it. We'll workshop it.
100%. Oh, that's a good one, Maz. Between the Rose, Coder's Column.
Ooh.
And so that one honestly could either be Vicen or that would probably take place in Rock Creek, so that's also probably D&D. But just like futuristic Dungeons and Dragons, Rock Creek. Everyone's all like technology and stuff. So right now the options are between 1871 and Forgotten Sins. Personally, the easiest one for me is going to be Forgotten Sins.
Really?
Oh yeah, the one that takes place in Ireland. Already kind of fits in. Vicen is Swedish, so it's right around, obviously, two very different areas. CMAS.
CMAS.
But similar kind of themes, areas. This book also kind of takes place. The theme is set in the 1800s-esque. This would be much earlier, but we can easily work with that. Just remove the Industrial Revolution, you're pretty much there. So this would take the least amount of formatting, also the least amount of research. Like, I would have to research some about old Ireland, but that's strangely easier than a very specific time period where you search Chicago in 1871, all you get is the Great Chicago Fire. Plus, I don't have to be as accurate with Ireland as I do with Chicago, Illinois, because as far as I know, people just kind of do whatever with Ireland.
Well, I
You
as
know,
Grant
just be
would
like,
be
"Eh,
happy with
probably
either
how it
one.
works."
Honestly, I think either one, having Bison as the system, I think it would be interesting nonetheless. Is what I'm trying to say.
Oh yeah,
I think it would be really good.
I mean, I'll
I'm
rock
for
it
it.
regardless of what I do. I don't know which would be preferred. So my main question goes out to, I'll also message this kind of in the Discord. Would you rather have more information on Crowbar's backstory or Crowbar's family or Bailey's family? This goes out to you as the players. This goes out to the, what is it, like 5 people that we have here?
Something like that.
Six
Plus
viewers, one of which
Wizards
is
of the
me.
Coast. No, Maz actually had to go on his plane, so Wizards is gone.
Ugh, Wizard of the Coast. No.
No.
But which would you like to do? See something still in America? Do you want to go way back to like old Ireland, Patterson family, or
Aaron,
Crowbar family?
Aaron,
Yes.
I think it's kind of obvious what my answer would be.
I mean, yeah. So Grant
And
and Drew.
I feel like it's, yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like it's pretty obvious what Grant's, would be. So
I don't know.
Lydia.
Grant,
Yeah.
what-
Oh
And
no.
here- Bailey's had enough chances, right?
So
let's
Grant,
be
are
real.
Well,
you?
we're not talking about Bailey. We're talking about Bailey's
I know.
family.
I know.
Bailey is a scumbag.
Hey, okay. Whoa. I have some
I wouldn't say
defenses for-
scumbag. I would say Bailey is just an idiot that doesn't know how to talk to people.
See, I could go for that more. Yeah. What do you think?
He's trying
Lydia?
his
What do you
best.
think? You want Chicago or
I could also
Ireland?
do one in Florida, which is where from Sawyer's family is.
I was gonna say, can we do it
Oh,
in
that
Florida
would be
where we just see all the
crazy.
madness that happens
I'm
in
just
Florida?
saying,
We just-
the
Wacky.
reason that I was like, you could be from Florida, is the way that Between the Rows works is, so everyone all over the country is kind of doing this like weird like pagan magic stuff. Like a lot of it is centered in the Midwest, but it started on the East Coast because that's where people showed up. So they kind of made, using the highways and old roads and stuff, they made magic drains that kind of pull the excess magic into certain areas, so that way it's more condensed and doesn't cause that much trouble and stays a bit more under the radar. One of those such places is in Nebraska, around that Rock Creek era, kind of near Omaha towards the eastern edge. Another one of them is Florida. That's why so much weird stuff happens in Florida.
That's hilarious.
Is that there's like not really a group of people to deal with it down there. Like you have the society in Nebraska, but in Florida things just kind of run rampant. So they're just like, well, oh, that's a crocodile is what most people see, but in reality it's like, yes, I am a troll.
It's literally Sawyer.
Yeah, 100%. It's just Sawyer as a
Man,
turtle.
I really do like that concept of Florida. There's so much to do with it. I've been trying to think of a clever name, but I can't.
Oh, geez. I mean, have to work stuff. Also, basically, what I want for the titles for these, the main inspiration is, like, think slasher fic sequels. Where, like, if you look and it's, like, Nightmare on Elm Street, Dream Fighters.
Yes.
Like, stuff
Yes.
like that.
Yes.
That's just super what I want it to be. Where if it doesn't sound like it could be said in, like, a movie, like, this summer, welcome
I just
to Between
see-
the Rows, Sins of the Father.
love
I just thought of for if we did Chicago, we could just Between the Rows, Chicago Fire.
Yeah, I thought of that. I was like, I
But-
could call it Between the Rows, Chicago Fire. Wait, no, that's a show.
Right? Exactly. It's like, hold on, wait a second.
Wait a second.
Copyright.
Yeah, just get shut down. What is it?
I have a
NBC
feeling
or
we won't be
something?
able to land on a happy answer because all of them are great choices.
Right.
Here.
Well, I mean, you only
but
have
these
two.
are all on the table. Is the point?
You only got
What'd
two.
you say?
No, because
We got
I'm
to?
not ready to prep a D&D one. So we're running Bison,
Bison.
which the only two that fit for Bison right now, other than the Florida one, which I haven't put any thought to. So technically 3, but let's limit it to Old Ireland
for now.
or Chicago.
Oh, my heart. I vote
I
Florida.
love the idea of Old Ireland. I love it so much.
I love Ireland too.
But I'm also like, we really didn't get to dive into Crowbar's story very
That's
much.
true. I
And
think that would
also,
open up a lot.
If you think
a
of
lot.
the like ending reel, for those of you who haven't seen it, at the end you kind of get a like where are
Oh.
they now monologue
Oh man.
for the ones that are still alive at least. And the only one that
God.
didn't get at least a neutral or bittersweet ending, like where Hannah's character, it was like, oh well that sucks, but like okay, she's doing all right. Same thing with Lydia's character Sawyer.
God.
It
It's
was
so
like
sad.
she just disappeared, and when her mother was asked, it was like, oh, she walks among the dreams now, or something like that. The only character
Very druid.
that didn't get a bittersweet or hey, that's a pretty neutral or positive ending was Crowbar Jones.
Gosh, poor
And
guy.
specifically, the reason for this is my favorite thing, is I was like, hey guys, I would love for you to give me, if you were to give me an idea of where your characters would
Forgot about
be,
this.
in the future, where would they end up? And so Hannah sent me a novel. I talked with Grant. Lydia sent me all these things. DJ was like, I don't know, kind of like this kind of stuff. And then Drew just went, I mean, you can kind of just do whatever you want with it. I would maybe build a tank or something. And I'm like, I think you probably hear me say tanks are for winners at some point in time. But no, so I literally was just like, well, all right, Drew, fine. You get the bad ending. And so everyone else is like, she walks among the dreams and she returns to her home and her 3 children, and it's and he pitches to the empty plate on a cold stormy night, and then Drew's comes up and it's just and every night he falls into the dark depths of despair as his dreams are plagued by fire and brimstone.
It's awesome.
It's so good. I love it.
What
so
I
much.
love-
Personally, I think that's a fantastic ending for Crowbar.
Crowbar's
It really
life
is.
just sucks. That's
What I
Crowbar's
love,
life.
what I love about everybody's response to you, if I recall, is that everybody's was so on brand.
Oh,
everybody's
absolutely.
is exactly what you'd expect. The
100%.
style that they'd say. DJ's very technical.
Yep.
Hannah's very
Yeah, no,
like,
DJ
just-
gave me a bullet point list of he goes to college, he graduates, gets his degree. He doesn't go, but it's not the degree his dad wanted. He goes and then he does this with his degree. He succeeds in that, and then sometimes this happens. And I'm like, okay, yeah, all right. And then Lydia was like, oh, this nice, flowing, oh,
poetic
this is neat.
and beautiful.
I don't
and
know, kind of
brilliant.
go wild with it, but here's some thoughts I have. It would be cool if this maybe happened,
like,
and then incorporate this concept. And then Grant was like, I'm dead, so.
Here, I tell you, keep talking. I want to see if I can find
as I
exactly what I
said-
sent him.
As I said, Hannah sent me a novel. I had to scroll through the text, and I had to remove things that she sent me because she sent me too much for me to fit in a 2-minute monologue.
I love it.
I'm like, all right, okay, we're just gonna cut that out. We're gonna, okay, nope, that's not important enough. We're gonna leave that out of there, and then, I don't know, that's a little strange. So we're just gonna eat that out.
It was so sweet though. It was just so
it was great.
detailed.
So
Um,
okay, so this is exactly what I sent Aaron. like afterwards, like I just sent him a text, just a simple text, and it's like, okay. So I said, so I've given it some thought. Crowbar would decide to stick around and try to be there for Bev and Sawyer.
Oh.
Yeah, obvious.
Also, he begins to work on a more hardcore vehicle for us, the society, to use in the future, like a tank.
Yep. And that was your whole text.
That was my whole
That was
text.
Wait,
the
I want to
whole
see.
text.
I want to find mine now.
It was
the
whole thing.
It was
I
because
love it.
because I'm just like, to me that like Crowbar, that's what it's not all that complicated as to what Crowbar was. A very
so
simple
great.
and straightforward character with some kind of dark stuff in there that would makes him a little more interesting. But he's pretty straightforward. He'd be like,
It was
okay,
so
well,
good.
I'm going to take over my dad's mechanic shop, and I'm going to eventually build a tank.
And so the best part is, right, so everyone before the campaign, like, their characters had these, like, this is my plan, and that was your plan before the campaign. And most people, they took that plan and they were like, I think I asked you, I was like, what was your plan before all this stuff happened, and how did it change? Drew's just didn't change. Like, Crowbar was just
I think
before he became, like, a magical monk, he was like, I would like to take over my father's mechanic shop. And then he became a magical monk and fought, like, Satan. And he's like, I would like to take over my dad's mechanic shop. It was just absolutely wonderful. Drew, you are
I don't know if it exists.
just a savant when it comes to just letting me do whatever I want.
Well, I thought what you came up with was great. And although
man.
if we did do the Chicago fire, I would definitely put in a lot more thought into Crowbar's backstory.
So this is
and more specifically his family.
Yeah, so this is the difficult thing, right? So my problem is when I think of Chicago, I don't think of Chicago in the 1800s. I think of, like, the Chicago, like, mob, and, like, I think of, like, The Godfather and things like,
sure.
Which is not at all in 1871. Like, the first thing, like, if someone was like, hey, Aaron, if you were to say something about Chicago, what would it be? And my first thought is, like, Steve walks way down the street with a brim pulled way down low. And, like, that's what I think of. But I can't do that. I would love to put, like, I don't even know if the mob existed in the 1800s.
Probably
Like
did.
the Italian mafia?
I mean, it's not like the same, probably, but it probably,
there was probably
like,
just a bunch of Italians, but I don't know if that's. I don't know if I would
Let's
consider
see.
them
Okay.
a mob.
according to Wikipedia, which we all know how
Oh,
trustworthy
yes. I mean,
Wikipedia
it's a
is.
viable source. In my eyes.
Let's see. This is saying so it's basically giving a bunch of or like mobs and stuff like that, whatever. It's saying like in 1910s
1910s
is
is when it
when the actual like organized mafia stuff was really starting. Although, okay, hold on. Okay, so
That's only 40-year difference.
in
If you carry the
1895,
floor.
people
Okay, all right.
read,
Hey, only 20 years.
So okay, so really, Aaron, here's what you do. Here's what you would do.
The secret underground mafia that only really showed its face in 1910.
So in this alternate universe, in this alternate timeline, the mafia just happened a little sooner.
No. But that's
Now,
the
here's
beauty
the deal.
Between the rows.
Even if the mob wasn't a thing, it's Chicago. There's still crime. It's still like industrious,
I don't
right?
know, man. They were only able to settle like 10 years earlier.
Oh yeah, well,
Because so Chicago, I mean Illinois, probably wasn't. Yeah, all right. I'm liking where Nilf is taking this. I'm a fan. But
ooh, let's go.
so 1862.
I'm not looking at chat anymore.
Was a big year in between the rows. 1862 was when the society formed.
Yes.
Specifically the what was it? The
Homestead
the
Society.
Homestead Society. Thank you, Grant. I forgot my own
You're
word.
welcome.
Because in 1862 is when the Homestead Act was made by Lincoln.
Yes.
That
Ooh,
Lincoln?
I don't
I'm pretty
remember.
sure.
Yes, it would have that would have been.
And that's what was like. Hey guys, you can go settle the West. And so everyone moved out and started making homesteads and stuff. So it couldn't have been too much later or too much
So
around that time
Aaron,
when they settled Chicago.
Aaron, if it helps you, Chicago
When did it spawn?
was founded as a town in 1833
1833.
and was founded as a city in 1837
Oh, hey.
when its population
you
reached
can work with
4,000.
that.
So
You can
the
work with that.
Homestead Act was mainly just for like basic people to get land. It was so like they kind of formed
Right,
communities,
right.
but not necessarily cities. So people already had. Look, history is like my third worst subject. So bear with me. But I may sound like, oh, Aaron knows all this. No, I just do a lot of research when I need on a specific thing. I don't actually know any of this.
Yeah. It sounds
Okay.
like you have a lot to work with.
And-
And for what it's worth, I love the contrast of vibe, you know, from small town like Nebraska to a somewhat developing city. Like,
Yeah.
I like that shift too. And I like how it's like a shift in roleplay, not roleplay, shift in the system we use as well as location. I just like the feel of it. I'm for Chicago. And I really, really love the aspect of exploring some of Crowbar's backstory.
I
You
also
know,
like
I
the
really like
I also like the concept. So most likely, like who knows if we'll even see the Jones again in the sequel for Between the Rows, aka Sins of the Father. We may
Correct.
not. But the Patterson family, when it comes to Rock Creek, is a massive influence on it. So they will probably be encountered again, almost definitely. Now, so I
Grant,
don't want
or
to
not
leave
Grant,
too
Aaron.
much. What?
Oh, I have an idea. I have an
Well, hold
idea
it.
now.
I'm talking. We don't want to leave.
This is Aaron's show
We don't
now.
want to leave too much time between when we saw Crowbar Jones to when we actually delve into his backstory. Because if we leave too much time, no one's gonna know why we're in Chicago, which
Right.
matters somewhat. But like, you know,
Yeah, I don't see it connecting super heavily, but I feel
Oh.
like there will be a few
So,
things that
you'll just
pop
see the
up where
Jones
you're just
family.
like, oh,
The
So-
Jones family will be a group there.
But I
So,
love that. I
Aaron.
love when it's like subtle, you know?
That's
When you have to
Aaron,
like really,
my-
you have to
my-
really
so-
be into it to catch
Okay,
it. I
so
love that.
18. Okay, so Between the Rows happened timeline wise was in
2007.
2007.
it could
Okay.
have been 2008. I know that the iPhone was. I think the iPhone was just released that year,
Yes,
so it
it
was
was.
2007.
Okay, so if we did 1871, that's like, what is that? That's 30. So that's 130 years approximately. Which means that would be like what, like 3 generations?
Something like that.
Wait, yes.
Yeah, like more like
That's
4.
pretty
More like
close.
3 or
more like
4.
4 generations.
Your great
man, I love
grandfather
it.
would be
I love it.
probably who you played if you played the family, because you would be like younger.
Yes, I was gonna say, this thought. So this is the thought that just occurred to me, right? So the Italian mafia
Mm-hmm.
did apparently didn't become a thing until like the 1910s, 1920s.
Yeah.
Well, who's to say though there wasn't a mafia before that? Perhaps even,
It was a syndicate.
right? Aha.
It was
Here's
the
my-
ledger.
But here's my thought. Here's my thought, right? So let's just spitballing here, right? But what if the Italian mobsters took over the mob society from somebody else? More
Wait, yeah,
specifically,
hey,
perhaps.
Hey, don't start spoiling
Hey,
things,
don't
alright, Drew?
don't spoil the
I'm
idea.
just saying, I'm just saying, like
Look, we don't want everyone to know what's happening here.
that's an idea,
I can come up with something regardless. I was just saying, my first thought when I go to like older Chicago is in the like 1910, 1920s era. So
So
like
you've got to
Fair.
back
That's
up.
fair.
I have to erase that from my mind and be like, I don't even know if pizza's been invented yet. what else are they supposed to do at Chicago?
I like it. I love
Are you looking
that.
up when pizza was invented, Drew?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Also,
Oh, pizza's
It
gotta
was
be so...
invented in the 18th or early 19th century.
19th century would be early 1800s.
However, the word pizza was first documented in the year 997.
Next, you're gonna tell me it wasn't even Italian.
Is it? No, it's Italian.
It's not. I don't
What,
think.
really? I thought
It's
pizza
Italian.
was literally an Italian
No,
word.
I don't think it is.
I
Well,
know
okay,
that Italian
American
is very
pizza is different
than
than Italian pizza, but pizza itself like
But
was
like
founded from.
the start of pizza was not.
It's Italian.
Pizza starts with a P.
No, I remember looking this up. Ha! I know what I'm talking about. Give me one second.
Modern-
If we go too far, someone's gonna be like, and French fries aren't even French.
We're gonna get canceled for this somehow.
I'm fine with it. If this is how we go out, at least it was on a table scraps.
Table scraps would
I
be
think
how it
so.
happens. Also, inevitably, sometime this time, I kind of want to talk about the table scraps campaign too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
After we figure this pizza fiasco, I'd love to.
I mean,
to chat.
sure. I mean, you guys can keep talking while Lydia and I try to figure this
but
out.
basically,
All right. Think
tell
tank,
us,
you
tell
guys
us
got
what you
this.
want. I honestly, screw the rest of these people that play. If our viewers are like, if everyone in the group is like, I would love to play in Ireland, but everyone who watches us is like, I would rather have Chicago. I'm gonna take your guys' side
True.
because we need you to like actually watch us. Or else you don't have anything that there's no point to us doing anything.
If we're doing stuff that you guys
Yes,
just
it's
absolutely
Greek.
hate, and it's like,
That does not
It's
surprise
Greek.
me. actually.
Well, it depends
Oh, no.
because
ooh.
Fight,
because I think the Greek and Romans were the first people to put toppings on pizza.
What pizza is bread with toppings.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, okay, but like, I'm pretty sure what they mean like pepperoni and like meats and stuff like that.
Pepperoni.
Way to be Italian, man.
But anyway, it's not. Yeah, it's not
It's
super
a pizza
important.
pie.
But anyway,
Well, look.
Lady and I, we can figure this out later.
We'll post it.
We'll
in
talk
the
later,
Discord.
Drew.
But
Yeah, we'll talk later.
So, for
A
those
deep
of
dive
you
into pizza.
listening, watching, tell your friends, spread the word, storm Twitter, Facebook, to solve first off the question of who invented
Is
pizza,
it-
and second off
Is,
the question
is
of
pizza actually Italian?
what game should we play? Should it be in Chicago
Priorities.
or Ireland? Because we want to know. By we, I mean
Chicago
me.
or Island, people. Chicago or Island.
I'm pretty sure that's all I've got for between the rows questions.
I'm sure there'll be more.
Grant, you said that you had something regarding.
No, I
This
just
campaign?
like it's growing on me. Okay, the whole, so we call it Shadows on the Mountain, which is just kind of happenstance. This is the Table Scraps side series that we're doing right now, and we just by happenstance call it Shadows on the Mountain from the first episode. It's really neat, and so it's Normir and Sylvie and Archie. I almost always call him Archester.
It is Archester.
It is Archester.
Oh gosh,
No, we almost call him Archibald.
Archibald.
that's what it is.
But his name is
then Aaron
Archester,
DMs.
and then I call him Archie because I don't want to say Archester every single time.
Exactly, and every now and then we have other members of the cast join. Sometimes we can't make it, stuff like that. But
Sometimes
for
I get
the
to
most
play
part, it's
the
pretty much been
the
this group.
Chestnut King. And it's just
No,
a great time.
don't do it. Please don't.
Do it.
Oh God.
Do it. Do it more. Do it more.
Desire royalty, the Chestnut King.
I love it.
So my least favorite NPC, but my favorite one.
So yeah, so it's growing on me. When we started this thing, and when I made Normir, I put like literally zero thought into the thing. I was like,
The
okay,
perfect
Normir, a giant who
Tis
stops,
I, a barbarian.
stops people from getting hit by rocks
Yes.
and likes the king,
A
and that was my whole
barbarian.
character. There was like
Aaron,
no
have
backstory.
Aaron, have I showed you that meme?
I don't know.
So it's
That
one of my,
meme.
it's one of my favorite memes.
There's a lot of memes out
Um,
there, Drew.
It's an image of from The Office. I don't know what season or episode or whatever. I don't really watch The Office. However,
Neither do I.
but but their boss, the
Michael, I think.
Michael,
This is
yes,
painful.
Michael, yes, I think
Michael
that's right.
Caine.
I don't know if that's that one. But basically, it's an image of him wearing like a fanny pack with with a mullet on or whatever.
Oh yeah, and
just
he's
looking,
standing. And he's like,
and he's standing there, kind of like
yeah,
in
it's when
shock
he, it's
as
when
he's
he
shaking.
was given the manager position from his boss.
Yeah,
That's his
yeah.
picture he has on his desk.
That's it.
So there's a picture. I have a meme that's a picture of that, and the boss it has text saying, "I'm so glad you made a real character for a one shot," and then on Michael it's just text saying his name Abar Barian. His first name
I
is
love that.
Abar, and
Abar
his last
Barian.
name is Barian.
Well, I only gave Sylvie, I give my one-shot characters a secret, and then that helps me like get more into them and like them more.
God, yes.
Really
And
smart.
we found
Yeah.
out Sylvie's secret already.
Literally this last episode, which
And
was episode 5 of
it's-
Shadows on the Mountain.
It was completely accidental. Like before,
That was so funny.
Before the game happened, I was like, "Hey Lydia, I would love. I have this thought for the next episode, and if you don't want it, then it's fine. I can roll without it. But I would love to like visit Sylvie's family, and Sylvie is a halfling, and I would just love if they're the cutest things ever." She's like, "Oh my god, yes."
I was like, yeah, that's exactly right. Let's go for
and
it.
then you were like, oh, and yeah, and then if you ever have an excuse for Sylvie to take her mask off, she can also be really adorable. And I was like, I was thinking that in my mind, but I didn't want to make any changes to your character. And then
And I was
after
like,
the game
Aaron.
happened, she was like, that was already my secret. I'm like, oh my
It's
god.
like, Aaron, I already told you. That was my secret.
Somewhere in my brain, I just completely forgotten that was like her thing, where it's like, oh, she's just adorable.
It's literally she has to wear a mask and
Well,
like
and somehow that secret
cover
makes
up.
Sylvie that much more horrifying because she's just this like smooth running, just killing roguish machine that just is unstoppable. It's like an invisible poisonous spider. That like
Well, I've mentioned
it'll
before,
bite you
it's
and you'll
like-
die, but you can't stop it.
It's like if you
And-
cover up this much, her eyes are like icy and cold, but then when you take it away, they like sparkle. It's
Yeah.
like,
Oh my
It's like the moment you see the rest of his face, is like, oh.
That's so
"Aw."
Oh my
anime.
goodness, that's adorable. Yeah, that was that was so accidental. I'm not gonna lie. I think the last episode for me was one of the most entertaining games I've ever ran as a DM.
Oh, it was so fun.
It was one of the
Something
most
about
entertaining
it.
ones I think I've played too.
Oh my
Like,
It's
goodness.
hilarious.
I just had so much fun with it, and there was no combat. It was just like,
yes.
oh man.
And the Undergrove, dude, it was so creative.
I
It
know
was
what I know what
so-
what the next episode is going to be too. It's going to still
Oh,
take
I
place in
remember.
the Undergrove. As
The
for
best
why,
it'll
I'll
find
leave
out.
that.
Is that all
to-
you're giving
I'll
us?
leave that to stay. But I
Alright.
will tell you that. Put this in a D&D context. We're going to go through a mix of Grease, West Side Story, and Romeo and Juliet, which are all kind of the same thing,
No.
but a little different.
Oh no! What could this
So
possibly
okay,
be?
so we're gonna have a bad boy and a good girl,
Uh-huh.
and the good girl is gonna change for the bad boy.
Hey, maybe it's going to be a bad
Maybe it's
girl and a
Maybelline.
good boy.
Either way, the bad person is gonna
Maybe it's
change
natural.
for the good person is gonna change for the bad person.
Uh-huh.
They're both gonna become the bad people, and then they're both gonna die.
That's I mean, that could theoretically happen. I'm thinking more of the basic plot and setting rather than specific characters.
Right.
I mean,
right.
the
We
basic
can't- we
plot,
can't
the
have-
basic
we
plot
can't
of
have
Romeo
Aaron
and
think
Juliet
build
is
a
the fact that they
plot
both
here.
die in the end.
Think greasers. Think a lot of like
It's
muscle
just a bunch
and
of snakes.
charisma. I wish Snake will be a recurring character. I guarantee.
Oh please,
I hope
Colonel.
he's in every episode from here on out.
Colonel.
Colonel,
He just
I'm trying
finds
to
a way in.
infiltrate this enemy facility, but the clap of my cheeks keeps alerting the enemy.
Did you say say that on stream?
I did.
He did.
Colonel.
Colonel.
He's a snake.
Meanwhile, Colonel was thinking about like just really weird like
my goodness!
cheese
I really
or something
hope
like that.
at some point in time, we have someone who's like a serious like Metal Gear Solid fan, who like listens to that episode, and then they're going to be like, "Wow, Aaron really pulled out the deep references." So in my mind, the Metal Gear Solid plot line is happening in time with your campaign, but you guys will never see it.
Oh,
Wait,
yeah.
as in
it will
it's like
never occur.
canonically happening within the world of Nico
Yes,
Muris.
but specifically in the Undergrove with that NPC and stuff. There's like,
yes,
because as I see it, like, what's the likeliness that you guys are the only, like, the main campaign on Mondays are the only like strong adventurers? Like, Lotta exists, right?
That's a good point. I was
Which means
thinking
that there
about
have to
that
be
today.
other like heroes and adventurers that are encountering their own like existential threats and like stopping demons and stuff. Like, if it was just one group, it would be real bad.
They're secretly unknown to us currently, but
100%.
there's a second Renaya.
I mean,
Yeah.
Lava
The
exists.
second 100% Lava is somewhere out there. That's maybe canon.
Assuming he's not dead.
Oh, he's probably dead by now. I mean, to be
I
fair,
don't know,
he
he's
probably
pretty
died at
slick.
the exact same time Havel did, and then didn't get resurrected.
That was the
Yes.
biggest flop of a character I've ever made in my
We
entire
know.
life.
That was
What are you talking about? That was
No,
beautiful.
everyone thinks it was beautiful.
No, fork and spoon. Those were
M-A-C-A-H.
It was so scuffed.
and I am such a handsome tiefling.
Bro, it sucked. It was so good.
So
Of
you
how
may have
bad it
flopped,
was.
but I'm
Hey,
pretty. I
horseman!
rocked that episode.
Bro,
I
you were the
Spoon
Latin
and
guy,
fork.
right?
Spoon
Yeah,
and
I
fork
was-
still my
I was
favorite.
I was the changeling with multiple personalities. So he would just
Oh,
take a
yes.
different, and I spoke.
Yes.
Oh.
I spoke
that's
um,
great.
Latin for like part of the
I
episode.
forgot.
For those of you who
Yes.
don't know, we're talking about the first one shot we did.
Yeah, the Halloween
called
one shot.
Temper of the Moon, Halloween 2020.
I totally forgot about Spoon.
Yeah, fork and spoon.
Look,
Yeah.
I threw a pretty
You
big
guys were
shadow
great.
that episode, so it's not surprising.
I mean, that was like
I
all
think
of
the
you
blood
guys
moon's
did-
about to rise.
did,
I
If-
think the blood moon's about to rise.
you don't
Man,
have
it's
you
so
don't
good.
like obviously we encourage you to go and watch it because it's fun, but if you don't want to watch the whole episode, just go on our Instagram and find the paper cuts of the Halloween episode.
Yeah.
That's
So
oh
good.
yes,
right
I
there,
forgot we
Lydia,
had
is
that.
one of my favorite things to do when I'm playing Dungeons and Dragons. Is when the DM tells you something, and then you immediately
repeat it.
Because it was literally like I was like, so my changeling became Tracker, who was an Australian-sounding lizard folk, like looking person
So
that was
good.
like who was actually really bad at nature. Like that was the joke, but then I rolled like really high for some reason, and I was like, yeah, what time is it? And he's like, yeah, roll a nature check, and so I roll it, and I'm like, oh, like 19. He's like, you think the blood moon's about to rise? And I just, yes, I think the blood moon's about to rise. Just immediately.
I love it. I also love that it ended up lasting like
Oh.
what 6.5
Shoot.
hours, or something like that.
Oh,
It
no.
literally ended up lasting
Yeah, I'm
like
scared.
twice as long as we initially meant for it, which was totally fine. I mean, it was a blast. It's just hilarious that that happened.
to block chat.
It's like, yeah, this will probably be 2 hours, and then it was like 6.5 hours later or something, and we're all just like, it was super late. We've been fighting this monster forever. And we're all
Oh
just
yes.
Like, well, I
Well,
just
yeah,
want
yeah.
this to
It was
end.
supposed to. Yeah, like literally, the one shot was supposed to be like 3 hours long. You know, we might go maybe even 2 hours, depending how efficient we are. Like it was supposed to be shorter than the normal episode length, and then literally we went for like 5.5 hours.
I think it was over 6. I'm almost certain of it.
I
it
don't,
was
I don't think
intense.
it was over. It might have been 6 hours.
Hey Drew,
I gotta look at this.
Yeah.
I have a
Yes.
technical question for you because
Yeah,
I don't know how
sure.
the technology works.
Sure. That is the point of this stream.
So-
Is while we are talking,
Uh,
it is also help you learn how to run the stream.
In Zoom,
That's so cute.
You know how you can like send messages to people?
Yeah. Yep.
How do you make it so your messages don't show up on your screen?
So it's a very complicated process.
Do you normally have the message system open all the time?
No, I don't. So what I do, stream, chat. The stream's gonna look a little funky for a second. I just click on chat, and then it will pull up on the side, right? And then at the top, you should be able. There's I can't remember what the indicator looks like, but at the top left there should be a thing. If you hover over it, it says pop out. Like it's like an arrow or something like that. Looks like kind of like an arrow. If you pop that out, and then just move it to the side, then it's up. And if somebody puts something in a chat, you can actually see it, but it doesn't get like in the way.
He's so concerned.
So chat, please excuse this for a moment.
It's
all the way over here.
like I said.
So,
like I
it's
said.
Pull up this.
It's like a meme of a kid teaching their grandfather how to use an iPhone.
It's like, oh,
Yes,
Jesus,
it
it's all
is.
falling apart. Oh, Dad, I'm scared.
I know.
Oh,
It's
God.
okay.
No,
It's
we
okay.
fixed it. We're good.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, good. He's back.
No, we're
You just
good.
move it to the
We're fine.
side,
Oh my
and then
goodness.
we're
I can
good.
move it onto the main. This is wild. I can move it over to
Yeah.
cover the. Oh wow.
That's my favorite thing.
That's
Is in this
crazy.
whole time that Aaron's been learning how to do this, he'll just be like, "Oh, that's wild.
That's
Technology's wild."
Yeah.
Technology blows my mind.
Like
I don't understand how
it's
it works.
hilarious to me.
Like literally the fact that I can move the chat thing from like here to my other monitor. What?
Yeah.
Like what? That's crazy.
So
I
now,
can't
Aaron.
believe that doesn't blow anyone else's mind. Yeah.
Here. So now, I could do that in the chat.
So I'm
And
gonna
you
tell
can
you
see
right
it.
now, no one can see it because I'm running the stream, so I have no idea what you did.
Right. But
I
that's
just
what I'm
heard a
saying.
random button click.
I just put in the chat hello Aaron, and nothing popped up. And it's fantastic.
Oh, I honestly didn't notice that.
Yeah.
Wait, Aaron, can you read the message?
Oh yeah, no, you see, I moved the
Oh,
chat
good,
bubble
good, good.
over
Yeah.
to.
Well done.
Yeah.
The main
That's that.
thing.
Yes. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah.
So guys, I'm shifting topic a bit here.
Okay.
Oh no.
I have in the Twitch chat 40,000 channel points, and we only have one channel point tier
how
at
do you
200
have
channel points.
40.
Highlight my message.
How do you have 40,000 channel points?
How many channel points do you have?
I don't know.
How do you know how many channels?
I have
do you
28.8.
Because I have the
I'm almost
chat
at
open.
30.
I'm like,
I
What
don't.
do you do?
To be honest, I don't have a lot
So
because
Drew, you
What?
don't because you're running the
I
stream.
don't understand
yeah,
Twitch. So what?
I have 900. I have 980. That's how I have.
what? So let me explain. Twitch has these things called channel points that you get from interacting with stream, whether it's like staying on stream for a while, being involved in a raid or a host.
Is that what that is?
Yeah,
Okay.
and you can click on it and you can provide tiers that a lot of people have, things like hydrate or like
Okay.
or like
Or like
posture
give
check
the
or
dog a
random-
So-
treat and stuff like
or
that.
it could be anything.
I have 11.3 thousand.
Okay,
I'm sitting
okay.
at. I sometimes don't have the chat or the stream open on my phone if my internet's being real rough that day, so I'm only sitting at like 30K.
All right, cool. So that's kind of how it works. So we have chatted about channel points in the past, and we don't have to come up with what, but I would really love to have channel point tiers, not for the sake of having them, but for the sake of interacting with people.
Okay.
And so that's been on my mind. And so I say that for you guys and also listeners / watchers, because if there are any ideas, we'd love to have them. So we don't want them to interfere too extremely with like the actual event of the stream.
Dad.
But we'd love to have them so I can spend my 40K. Yes, Aaron?
Dad. Okay, so I know a guy, right? I know a guy who runs tech for another Twitch stream. That's a D&D stream. He was actually at the Ren Fair. He was running the thing. He was running the place where I got this mug. And what they have on their channel is with channel points, viewers can purchase inspiration for players.
I love that. DJ never gives us
Interesting.
inspiration.
Look, I never give people inspiration because inspiration is incredibly difficult to remember and keep track of in my brain.
That is fair.
So I pretty much just cut it out. But, so we had we have these things. Some of us do. We actually had an idea similar. I don't know where they went. A while ago, there was Drew, you just got your dice from them. Is it Wormwood?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Wormwood.
So we have
Wormwood
these fancy D20s somewhere that are variable D20s. Lydia, I don't think you have one.
I don't have one.
But I have 3, so I have 2 that I can send to people. But they're variable D20s that have different numbers. So it isn't 1 through 20. It's like there's like
20
3 1s, 3 20s.
Yeah, 3 1s, 3 20s, like 2 19s, like a 15, an 18, a 15, and like a 16, and then mirrored, with
so
ones
the
and
average
twos and
number
threes.
is the same, but it's infinitely more likely that you'll either roll really high or really low.
Yeah.
So it provides big swings to the rolls that are given. For those of you who don't know what inspiration is, an inspiration point can be used to give yourself advantage on a roll.
It's really helpful.
So we had talked even before the stream had started, when they came out with this, I was like, hey, what if we had, like, they could spend channel points to, like, give us a use of the die? Because the problem with inspiration, right? Inspiration is purely an advantage, and you can only have 1 point of it. So it's like, people can't, like, give us multiple uses of it. Because once you have one, it's not like you can have another, and it's only an advantage. Yep. So like, you can use an advantage on anything. But if we have it be the variable die, then we could have it be like, oh, this is a huge moment, or hey, I really want this to be either really rad or really bad. Like Tarak doing the sick maneuver with Cather to, like, put him on the bat and stuff. You could use your channel points to give us counters that we could use to roll that high variability die, to cause the moment to either be more epic, either in a positive or negative manner, and then we can just spend those as we go. Now, I don't know how to set that up.
Right.
I have people that I can ask to figure out how to set that up.
Well, I think I could set that up too. There's
and,
different things you can do.
Yeah, you guys are geniuses and rad.
Now,
but that would be a way to interact with
chatted.
characters without actually forcing the players or characters to actually do anything.
Right, yeah, that's good. And we've chatted in the past, and I think one of the reasons why we haven't really had a ton of dialogue as a reason about it is just because we really want to protect the, like, genuine experience of playing the game. You know what I mean? Like, we don't want to make it too, like, fireworks, and we want to keep it true to, like, the D&D and the rules and stuff, but we also want to have a lot of fun, and we want to have fun with the people in chat. Like, I love the thought of, like, I picture in my head, like, literally a giant table, and, like, just a ridiculous number of people around the table with us while we play D&D. That's how I like to picture chat with us, is, like, we're playing D&D, but everybody else is, like, at the table, you know what I mean? And so, if we can kind of, like, coerce that experience with channel points, I want to do it, dude. It makes me so excited to think that, like, chat has some influence on how the show goes. It's just so fun.
I would even love to do like, in the future, like in the far future, this is probably going to be like a while, like games that are like not where the story or actions are influenced by, like, the viewers, but, like, have you ever seen, like, Twitch Plays Pokemon?
I think I've heard of that.
Basically, people in the chat can put in, like, things, and it'll cause the character to move in directions and the cursor to go up and down and stuff like that in that programming. But I would love where it's like a whole bunch of things are influenced by the chat, where it's like you can use channel points to recharge a spell slot. Like certain level of channel points can recharge a spell slot and stuff like that, or give another use of like channel divinity or something like that. Like if one of us gets like have it be like a meat grinder like game like one shot. Yeah, like can be used to help out an NPC, or like if someone gets knocked down, like you can like dies, like there can be a bar that fills that once it reaches top they get revived for free and stuff like that.
That's
I would
epic.
love like heavy
really
interaction in chat. If you watch,
That'd be
there's a lot
epic.
of stuff for Awesome Games done quick. AGDQ, yeah.
Yeah,
Where
that'd be right.
they have one that's like and actually a lot of streamers actually have it as well, where it's like you can spend a certain amount of channel points to just like kill the player and stuff like that. So like people will like save up for like crucial moments. They're like, yes, the final blow, and it'll be like they just die and stuff like that.
Oh god.
I love that concept, and I don't know how in the world it would be applied to a Dungeons and Dragons game, but I want to figure it out because
Okay.
that sounds so rad.
So
We'll probably
Aaron,
just step by
I
step.
know you wouldn't like. Well, you don't like battle royales.
They're all right.
However,
I like battle royales.
However, I think that would be a fantastic opportunity for a battle royale
Oh yeah.
if it was literally like we like tweeted it out, whatever. It was like, okay, figure out who you want to like who you want to help, and list off all the tiers and stuff. That way people can figure out what they want to give, and then like the first like 10 to 20 minutes of stream was just like, okay, Track, you get all this stuff, Kathy, you get all this stuff, and like as the fight,
they
like
can
so
like-
literally like so,
It's
like,
literally the Hunger Games.
yeah, so literally it's the Hunger Games.
100%. Also, I would love. So also, I don't want to be the like money grubber where it's like, yes, spend all of your channel points and bits and things to do all this. But what I would want, I would love if we eventually got to the point where we could do like a charity stream, where like that's what it is, where it's like bits and stuff, and then the
That'd be
like
awesome.
donations and things
I
that like
love that.
influence that levels go to like a charity or something.
Yes, and let me say this one thing. One of the cool parts about this thing is we can either lock channel points, say they're quote-unquote out of stock, or just disable them altogether, and change those things per stream. Like, we could have different rules for the main campaign. Like, we could have that a little more straightforward, or whatever we want there. But then if we wanted to have a game that was like, or games, a series that was heavily influenced by chat in the future, we could just simply change kind of the quote-unquote rules of channel points. And so we could have it done like with more chat involvement in the story, like so there's a lot of freedom there. It will just be a step-by-step for a long time to figure out the process of like how that works tangibly.
Yeah, so
Like,
I'm
well,
thinking
you know what I
like
mean?
channel points should be like smaller effects, like little things that it's like you aren't going to be able to spend channel points to like resurrect a character or anything.
Gosh,
But like
that
just
becomes
being
a
like,
god.
oh, after you can spend like so many channel points to like heal someone for 1d6 health or something like that, or add an amount of damage to the next spell or attack or something like that. And then like bit donations and stuff would be like the big deals, like resurrections or deaths and things like that. Or yeah, like summoning an NPC to help would be
That would be
Oh,
like
that's
an awesome
sweet.
thing. Like, could you imagine? Like, each person gets their NPC summon. So like
Kiyomura,
you
man.
could
That'd be really
spend
fun.
like I don't know, let's throw a
Oh,
random like
Kiyomura.
yeah, like
The heart
1,000 bits, and then Cather gets Kiyomura or his hot sister, something like that. Edward gets the butler. You get Lada.
Njolf says Snake the Snake ought to be
Yes,
summoned
absolutely.
just out of table scrap. It's in the same world.
Well, look,
I mean-
if,
I'm gonna
if we run
screenshot
like
that
this,
wonder.
if
DJ will
I'm
love
the
to see
one
that.
running this, then we could totally have it be like in the cage fight And like NPCs from like the Undergrove show up and things like that.
Oh no.
Snake
The
like
Chestnut King.
rappels
Sylvie rolls up
down
and she's
from the
this tall.
ceiling. Yeah, she's like,
Yeah, they're still the same size.
yeah. I would look. Snake the Snake may only deal 1 -3 damage because of his strength modifier, but he's also a level 20 rogue, so add on like 10d6 damage from sneak attack and he's good to go. But yeah, I would love
That sounds
in the
really
future for
I
like
just
audience
realized that-
interaction and stuff.
Yeah, when we are full-size people, Snake being summoned will literally be like a little
Snake
garter
is
snake
roughly
or
the
something
size
in
of
a jacket.
is roughly
Like,
the size of your pinky. Like in actual size term, that's about how
you
big
just see
Snake is.
somebody like just fall over.
Yeah,
And we're like, what was that?
100%. And they're like, there's not even a wound, and there's like 2 tiny little snake bites.
And then out of the blue, you just see them start getting dragged and put into a closet. And you're just
Like,
like, I don't even know how that happened.
like a tiny,
Yeah.
tiny dumpster. It's a dumpster of
Right.
holding.
I was thinking a cardboard box.
Yeah, 100%. You just see a tiny thimble move across the ground. And you're like, what is that? It's probably nothing.
Must have been the wind.
Must have been the wind.
I love the Undergrove.
Oh man, I love
so good.
Tiny Adventure.
It's so fun.
I'm
so
having
cute.
a blast.
Yeah.
We
Although
all want Kiamura again.
We do.
We all want Kiamura.
miss
again.
those
I mean,
obliques.
I mean, hey, look, we can go see Kiamura in a little bit.
Look,
Yeah,
you
we know
Nakamura-
Cather's missing him.
First, we gotta find an undead army.
We
Deal
but
with
yeah, I
that.
was-
Then we'll stop a genocide. And
we
then
have
we'll
yeah,
go
we
find
have
Kiamura and hang out.
Simple. On
we
the
have
way
a
to
bit of
stop
a
the
to-do
genocide,
list.
we pass by Athala.
Yeah,
We're like,
pick up
"Yo,
Kiamura.
Kiamura, how's it going? He's like, nothing much, just curling.
Siege in Athala.
just siege.
Well, we would have to give them some time to spar, Catherine and
Oh,
Kiamura.
well, yeah. Smar. They get hot and sweaty, knees weak.
They'd probably go back to that one spot in the woods with the rotating rocks
and the
pretty little
fireflies
fairy
and
light.
the moonlight.
You do realize that was in the Fae.
Look,
right?
we can manage.
That was in the Fae?
That was in the Fae.
I love
So
Grant.
romantic.
Kiamura went to the Fae with
unaware.
us?
I love
think
how
that was in the
unaware
Fae.
you
Yes,
are.
Was it in the
Kiamura.
Fae?
Kiamura went to the Fae with us. Yes.
Oh gosh.
Did he?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't think he
because-
did.
No, he
so-
didn't.
He did.
What?
Yeah,
How
no,
did we
because he
know?
went with us to like find the kids.
Because he did. Yeah,
Oh,
because he went with
Wander
us
He
to the
agrees.
kids.
Wander
he didn't
knows.
get. He didn't get portal, did
Wander
he?
says that
Yeah,
he was in the
'cause-
Feywild.
Yeah, we were all together. We went down to the sewers, after,
He
and
was
we all
like,
went.
I must find my father.
Yeah.
No, because he wasn't. Nobody. No, he wasn't drowning in the ocean.
No, he was. Because he was. He was
No,
there.
I don't-
'cause it
really-
was-
I don't
I
remember
don't
this at
think
all.
he was.
He
I
was.
don't
He
think
was there.
Well,
was
okay,
there.
but
He was
where else
either.
would there have been moving rocks?
Because
That's what
because
I'm
the thing
wondering.
because the thing
It
is he
seems like a
didn't
Fae
leave.
thing.
We didn't leave Kiamura until after we got out of the Fae and we left the city again.
Oh god.
Because then you guys.
But no, because Kiamura wasn't there when Havel got cursed.
Well, yeah, but Havel
That's
didn't
facts.
get cursed in the Fae. Havel got
He
cursed.
Havel got cursed like right when we got back from the Fae.
Yeah, because we
That's
ended
true.
up. when did we meet?
I don't think
Kiamura?
Kiamura was in the Fae with us.
No, Kiamura was in the Fae.
I don't
I-
think
I-
Kiamura
he had
helped
to
us fight
because-
the giant.
because-
I don't remember
because
any
remember,
moments of
we-
him in the Fae, but I do remember moving
So-
rocks, and that was
No,
not in the normal
because see,
world.
he was because
Oh,
so remember after we got out of the water, we went out to the forest, right? Because that's where the sea elves
Track
told
went
us to
feral.
go, right? We were camping. Kiamura and Cather were keeping watch, and Cather got one shot by the zipping little
See,
fairy dudes.
No, but that
I
wasn't
thought that was-
Kiamura.
Wait,
That
I
was-
thought that
yeah,
was
that was-
after the witch. Wasn't
Yeah.
Kiamura? No.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
that was
gosh.
yeah,
There's
he was there.
no, I don't believe you.
No. Wasn't Kiamura after the witch?
Let me
No,
wait.
he wasn't.
Let me look at my summaries.
I
Let me look at my
could
summaries. I might have it in my
swear.
summaries.
He was in the Fae.
Find where the
He was
picture of
not.
abs
He was
are.
not drowning. I don't remember him struggling to drown.
Dude,
I don't even.
I mean, to be fair,
don't
it was
think
he was
in
being
the
played
Fae
by
What if
he was being
Final-
played
final
by
answer.
he was being played by
He was
DJ.
not.
What if
No,
He was being played by
was
DJ.
Kiamura
He wouldn't
even
be
in this campaign?
Blah, blah, blah.
is Kiamura real?
Is Kiamura real?
Wait, have we ever seen Kiamura in the same room as us?
Yes.
Have we?
Episode 8 that they
Episode
went into the
8.
Fae. Wander coming in with the
Yep.
hot.
Wander's
hot
on
movement.
it. Wander. Oh gosh. I'm so sorry.
Them
Yeah, it was
spicy
between
episodes.
6 and 10 is when we went to the Fae.
I love our early episodes.
Episode
It
6
was
through
titled
10.
Descent into the Wilds.
Ooh. Good work, Wander.
Wander
Episode
coming in hot.
6 is, I
That's
think,
just
when we
off
meet
of Wander's
Kiamora.
memory. I don't
We
think
meet
he was.
Kiamora episode 6.
Kiamora was there. Don't worry, he was.
No, he wasn't!
I know, Lydia.
I don't remember him being.
Oh,
with
first
us,
pizza, now this, Drew.
But there's
Why?
no possible
Well,
way.
no, but
that
see,
they
I know-
sparred
I
Just
know-
in
outside
the
of
normal
Fae
woods.
Yeah, no.
I know
know
Kiamora
normal
was
woods.
probably in 8, but he didn't come with us in the portal.
He went to the Fae. Yeah.
No,
did.
he didn't put any
And-
blood in the
Wander
portal.
says
To be fair,
Kiamora
neither
was
did
in
I.
8.
He- Yeah, nobody. Yeah, it was just it needed to meet a certain amount. He didn't actually need to.
It was titled. And
Wander
Kiamora
said
was
I
Kiamora
don't
was
believe
Wander
this.
Spirit.
I don't believe this.
Here, give me a few minutes. and
Lore
I'll find it.
Master Wander, I choose to believe.
I believe Wander, but I don't believe Kiamora was there.
Yo, this is messing with. Now, is it possible, Lydia, that we had played the entire Fae episode believing
mean,
that
here's-
Kiamora was not with us when he
Look,
actually was? Is
To
that
be
possible?
fair, Kiamora said like one sentence to Renaya.
He was there. He was there. Literally, I just went to the moment where we're in the ocean and DJ's like, Kiamora rolls a natural 1 against the water.
Oh yeah, maybe it's because he
Kiamora
was
was
useless.
there.
Maybe that's why we don't remember him.
Why didn't he do anything?
It's 'cause
And
he-
then they sparred
Look,
in the Fae.
Kiamora is just a pretty face. We all know
Dude,
it.
Kiamora was like no help in that.
I
Yeah,
don't
but we
think I
still
was
love
really any
Kiamora.
help either.
I mean,
Fair.
I mean,
The only
I mean
people
that
who
the
were
whole
first
helpful-
time that
that whole
Track
little
is-
plot point.
I think the first time that track has actually been useful in combat was probably last Monday. I'm
Was
not gonna
last
lie.
Monday.
hey, I can
That's
relate,
not
man.
true.
I
Hey,
mean,
Kiamora provided emotional support for Cather when he needed it.
that is true. And you guys did your oath together, which was cute.
That was cute. That was a good
That was
first date.
yeah. That was after we got out of the Fae.
Yeah.
man.
What a roller coaster.
But yeah, no, I would love. Now the problem is, Track doesn't know any NPCs, so I don't know who Track's NPC summon would be.
Nyla and Mary.
They hate me,
No,
and I'm
I
not
would
going
think
to
it would.
summon a child to fight for me.
But
I would-
yeah,
I would
friggin'
think
she's just
Mary's just
Aaron.
like, where am I?
Aaron, I would think it would be the tailor.
Oh, the Taylor's
I
a good
summoned the
one.
Archmage,
Taylor.
dude.
The Archmage, yeah.
She's like,
Yeah,
I don't
that'd be
know
good.
why I'm here, but Cone of Cold. He just floats away. I actually did a similar thought to this way back. I ran a semi homebrew campaign called CSI Waterdeep. Now I don't think you played in that one.
I don't think I did. I think I was still in college, probably.
I think it was before college.
Even that early?
It was like
high
sophomore
school?
year of high school maybe.
Oh my goodness.
But I ran a campaign called CSI Waterdeep, where the characters played like investigators and other people to solve crime scene situations and like murders and serial killers and stuff in Waterdeep, which is part of the Forgotten Coast, Wizard of the Coast stuff world. And I gave them the option. They could choose basically a Final Fantasy summon-esque situation. So like as an action, they could choose to use their summon ability, and then on a long rest they chose what that summon would be. Now they didn't know what the summon did, but basically if there was an NPC that they've met, they could use their action to summon them, assuming that they had unlocked that NPC as a summon. So like one of them had the Archmage of Waterdeep, like Blackstaff or whatever his name is, as their summon, and he summoned and then cast a big spell. One of them had like a rogue like orphan that they had met, who was like, look man, I'm just trying to make my way in the streets, and they're like, this is who I want as my summon. He just like popped up from the shadows and stabbed someone. And I love that. Just like spend like like 1,000 bits, and then bam, like Kiyomura shows up in the background, and just flexes, and then like a wave of force like shoves someone or something. Like, I would love that. That sounds so hilarious.
His antlers, like, the ends of them break off and become missiles and they like, fly towards.
Yeah, that's Magic Missile for Kiyomura.
Yeah, and then he just regrows, like nothing ever happened.
Oh,
I like to
man.
think that Kiyomura is actually a cyborg.
Oh, Aaron, you didn't get to meet this character, I don't think, because okay, I'm trying to remember. So we went earlier in the summer. We went camping,
Mhm.
and I think I'm remembering the right character. We went camping earlier this summer, and with my family and stuff, and Ryan actually got to go with us, and we did a one shot, and I played a kobold sorcerer, who to this day is one of my favorites. He's one of my favorite characters I've ever played, purely because of how I themed his magic, because literally there was literally one point that he was casting magic missile, and I was like, he goes over to his component pouch, he grabs a small handful of fine powder and throws it into the air, and then he sneezes and casts magic missile.
Yeah, it's
like he had like a salamander that like when he just stretched it out and like released it, and that's how he shot like firebolts.
I
I love that.
And the salamander was okay with it.
And the salamander is actually dead, but
Oh gosh.
Oh, gross.
but like he was just this super
Stretchy dead salamander.
Trying to
wacky
avoid
and really
animal abuse.
funny.
Stretchy dead salamander.
But he was just this really wacky kind of silly caster, and I love him so
Look,
much.
There, you gotta hit
He
a
sounds like a
fine
meme.
line, right?
Oh, I gotta go back and look at my
So
characters
we
now.
are table scraps, especially this campaign. If you haven't noticed, is pretty goofy. I'm
Yes.
a general theme, and it is a fine line to walk, because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make things very serious in some respects, but then absolutely hilarious in others.
I mean,
Like,
to be
that's
fair,
kind of
the Shadowfell episode was terrifying.
I'm glad that you were
Oh,
disturbed.
it was so eerie. I loved it.
And also when it comes to like horror and eerie, and this kind of goes back to Between the Rows, I think that my own skill set, that's probably one of the things that I'm best at is like horror and disturbing stuff. So I try to limit it to how often I use it, because
Well,
first
and that's
of
what
all,
made Vicen so fun.
oh yeah, oh man,
too.
your Vicen game, that was great.
So epic.
So I'm working on for the chat in the kind of in like off stream. I've been attempting to, and I don't know if I will, because right now my schedule is wild. The only day I could do it is like Thursdays. Is just out like off stream play Vicen with the gang, like with the rest of the people in the cast. Just as kind of a like, hey, we all like RPGs, but like it's really tiring to like put on a show, and like we don't want to get exhausted by playing Dungeons and Dragons or other RPGs. And it's just nice to have a game that is just like, no one's watching us, we're just playing for fun.
Yeah, and I think the show element itself isn't particularly exhausting. It's just a different style.
Yeah,
you know what I
it's
mean?
like-
it can be exhausting over time, but it's just like as much as we attempt to make it feel very homely, and like as much as we really are just playing with one another, it's still inevitably gonna be slightly different because
yeah,
you're trying
well-
to make something that is like a good product for people to listen to, which isn't necessarily the goal when you're just around a table. And so
like-
being around the table with your friends, it's just a little bit different.
Yeah,
thematically.
it'll always be
you
a
know?
little bit different. So I've been trying to run this, and I've only gotten to run one session of it.
Oh, it was so good.
That had Lydia, Ryan, and DJ playing, and it was great. I can just tell you the plot now. Basically, how Vicen works. I'll give a brief overview of Vicen, and if we do play Vicen for Between the Rows, we will play a game probably on Table Scraps of Bison that I will give you kind of an overview of how the game itself runs and works.
I like that.
But basically, the characters in Bison are people they're called Thursday children. They have the sight. The sight is basically you can see through the Percy Jackson mist. To give it in a very understandable way, if you've read Percy Jackson, I guess. But you're just normal people. The only difference between you and another person is that you can see the boogie monster and they can't. So inevitably they group up and form this kind of like, hey, we need to stop these things that other people can't see from like ruining people's lives and stuff. So they get sent this letter in the mail that's like an invitation to a shadow puppet theater and stuff like that. And on the bottom is written by another investigator of the paranormal, like, hey, you guys are new investigators in town. I could really use some backup on this. I'd love to see what you can do. So they show up, and it's this little inn. They meet the detective. The NPCs on the inside are like, there's the drunk farmer, and the like, yes, I'm basically Severus Snape, but I'm actually a priest. That was a legitimate character that I had. And then there was also the innkeeper and his daughter, who was the one. The daughter was the one putting on the play and stuff. But then, as the night progressed, they went up to see the shadow theater. But before they did, everyone was that before? No, that was after. So they went up to the shadow theater. And as she went through the reel of, if you don't know what a shadow puppetry is, it started in Asia, East, Asian areas. It eventually moved over to Europe and France and stuff, where it got refined into kind of more an automatic thing, where you just turn a crank and these little paper puppets move in front of a projector and act out movements and do things. And then so what you're actually looking at is shadows on a backdrop, and then the backdrops change and things like that. And she put on this play, and then as she went, her voice started to change.
It was so cool.
And it got deeper because
it was Aaron was literally doing it. He was talking in the voice, and then as it was going, his voice would slowly morph and do this thing.
Angry.
And we're all sitting there
ew.
And the best part is I couldn't see their faces because I had the script that I had to read for this play.
I was looking between DJ and Ryan, waiting to see if they were catching what I was catching. We're all just being should we do something? Are we supposed to do something here?
But basically,
I hate it.
This revenant, this revenant, which in Bison it follows a lot more pagan folklore kind of stuff. Revenants are actually what they believed caused strokes, because the revenants were undead creatures that in daytime they were completely invisible, but if you ran into one, you would just have a heart attack. So they were this is how we explain why people just randomly seizure and stuff, is oh, there must be a revenant there, avoid that area until nighttime. But at night they were able to fully roam and were physical creatures and stuff. And so this revenant had been kind of possessing this girl and telling her his story. And he was a master shadow puppeteer in France before the French Revolution. When he moved back, he was desolate and completely without money and everything. He was picked up by the Society of People with the Sight, because eventually the Fae are they like to pick on people. So he eventually was able to see little trolls and fairies that would mess with him, and then people just thought he was crazy, and it made his life terrible. But then he was betrayed by that same society and murdered in the inn, and then buried in unconsecrated ground out back. And so he rose 50 years later, took over this girl's mind, and taught her shadow puppetry and stuff. And the story that she told was his life story.
Whoa.
And then at the end of it, they realized that there was only 3 people. There was them in the audience, and then there was a 4th one behind them at the end of the play.
Ew.
which
Oh
of
gosh,
course
that makes my skin crawl.
basically just like jump
At
scared.
same,
Like they
just
turned
then,
around,
yeah.
attacked it, and it just disappeared. But then they heard a whole bunch of thumps outside and from downstairs, and everyone in the building had fallen asleep except for them.
I hate this.
And so they go through and they start like trying to there was the innkeep and the daughter that were also still awake, because the revenant didn't realize that time had passed, so it still thought it was 50 years in the past, and he was murdered by the like grandfather of the current innkeep and 3 of the society, which he thought were the 3 players. So he was trying to get his revenge on these people that weren't actually the people that killed him. So they were still awake. So they're like talking to the innkeep and like they're not getting anything out of him. The girl is like just crying in a heap on the ground, but they kind of learn like, oh, the innkeep, like his wife was researching some stuff about this. And the cool thing about Vysen is, since it's based on mystery, the way to accelerate the plot is there's a timer. So whenever things start to slow down, they run out of clues, the next event happens. And if you reach the like climactic event before solving the mystery or solving the problem, then it becomes a cataclysmic event. So where it's like they literally hit the cataclysmic event at the end of the session, where like the first thing that happened was everyone falls asleep. The second thing that happens is the innkeeper he kind of loses his memory in a way, but he wakes up and he thinks that he is his grandfather. Like, so he doesn't know what he's done, but he knows that he's committed a heinous crime. And this is where it gets like real gruesome. He was like, I've committed a crime. There's nothing I can do. I did all this stuff.
We'll
really,
say
really
a verbal
bad.
warning here.
Yeah,
at this part.
Trigger warning. It's rough. It's real bad. So if you have any, can I say this? I don't entirely know how trigger warnings work. Lydia, you do the trigger warning.
Trigger warning. Unaliving of the self.
Yes, self-unaliving.
Self-unaliving. If that bothers you, pop out for a few minutes and then pop back in, and then we'll be over it.
Skip.
But he, like, they couldn't get anything out of him, and they didn't really understand what was going on. But they were like, I don't know. He's like, he doesn't know who he is. He thinks he's his like grandfather. He goes up to his room, and it was great because Ryan character like listened at the door, and I was like, you hear him muttering and talking about some stuff, and you hear him walk around. Then he picks something up. He sets something down, probably the same thing that he just picked up. You hear some creaking, and then silence. And then at the end, they like, so the third event that happens is the people wake up and start like puppeteer moving, trying to like force the people into the attic to burn the inn down. They're like, you gotta get out of here.
It was genuinely terrifying.
They're like, we have to save the
sequence
innkeeper, or else they're gonna kill him. They open the door and he had hung himself.
Oh,
and so the sound that they heard was him picking up the stool and setting it down, and then the creaking was him stepping off.
Yeah.
Right. And like he had painted in blood on his chest like traitor or something like that. And so they bust out the window. They're like trying to figure out like what's going on. The inn starts on fire. By now they learned the research that the innkeeper's wife had, which is like, this is revenant. In order to stop the revenant, you have to bury the remains in consecrated ground. They had a general idea of where it was. It was in the vegetable shed in the back. So they like bust their way out there. They head in. One of them is a priest. Ryan's character was a priest. So they like dig up the remains, and then while they're doing it, they are seeing scenes of what actually happened to the man, like in that shed. Like his existence has changed the way that the shed works and stuff. So it's like just a bottomless pit from where they're standing. So they see scenes of him like being in Paris and at the height of luxury, and then like poor and destitute on the streets and stuff, and then getting like betrayed and stabbed in an inn.
Wow.
They dig up the remains and they run to the church, which is like a mile away. Bury the remains in consecrated ground. Of course, there's a nice scene where like the storm breaks and the sun begins to rise, and they see the like ghostly figure of the young, still wealthy man in the distance.
Wow.
Head back to
My
the inn.
character had a dog the whole time.
Yes,
too.
they had a dog.
Sounds
I think.
so crazy.
Oh, it was great. And then they head back,
Like
and like
mystical.
no one has any ideas what happened, but because the body was like taken away, they all woke up, realized like, oh crap, the inn's on fire. The only person that they weren't able to save was the innkeep because they couldn't get him out of the second floor. They didn't know where he was. They just were like, we're not going to tell him that he was already dead. We're just going to let him believe that he died in the fire. And then yeah, and then that's
Well,
like
and
where we
just-
left off is when they headed
just-
back
Wow.
to the main city.
Aaron's storytelling too is just amazing. Like when those reveals were happening, we would literally have to be like, "Oh my god!" Like we need a minute. We were literally like, "Hold on,
Oh,
whoa!"
it's so cool. I'm
It's
so
like-
excited for this next thing with Bison.
But yeah,
It's so good.
the thing that I love about it is if they were to actually fight, like if they were like, well, simple solution, we don't need to bury this, we'll just kill the Revenant. That's not going to happen. The Revenant can't die. It's already dead. So if it is nighttime and you are in fisticuffs with a Revenant, you just die. Like there's also the death in Bison is so easy. Like it is incredibly easy to die. Basically, you have 4 mental conditions and 4 physical conditions. Getting shot will deal you like 2 physical conditions. If you hit the 4th one, which is broken, you die. Or if it is the mentally broken, then you like go insane. And there isn't a way to fix being broken. You just die, or you're like put in a mental facility.
Isn't it also
Dang.
like you can also like get broken in the sense like you break a leg, except it will never heal correctly
yeah,
again. So like
so
you're bound to like a wheelchair.
If you hit like the 3rd one, so you can choose which of the things that you get. I wish I don't have a Vicing character sheet on me. But there's like exhausted, battered, and then like one
Oh,
other
I
one.
can pull mine up.
Yeah, Lydia hit his. I'm actually. I might be able to do that too. I don't know where any of my folders are. Oh, here we go. Let's open up Della Larkin. That's a
Hi,
thing.
Della.
Exhausted, battered, wounded, and broken. When you hit. Oh, no. Oh, shoot. I don't even remember how this game works. There's something else where it's like once you hit 3 permanent injuries or something like that. I don't know. I can't remember how it works. I'm confusing it with the yellow sign, too. I mean, Wander, you definitely missed something creepy, but I don't think it's that big of a deal.
It was pretty creepy. It made my skin
How
crawl.
does death work in this book?
I'm sure we'll be well acquainted with
Oh.
how death works in Bison
Oh, yeah. It'll...
by the end of whatever the next Between the Rose thing is.
And Aaron, I just want
Well,
to play
and-
right now.
And it's really cool because you're essentially a normal person, right?
Oh, yeah. 100%.
But you do get it's what I just saw it. I forgot it. Your talent.
Yeah, you get talents and stuff.
And I got to use mine, and it was so fun.
I think
High
everyone got
five.
to use their talents in that episode, too.
Did everybody?
I know that DJ did.
I can't remember.
I'm trying to remember.
I know
See.
I did mine before the puppet show started.
And then Ryan, who was a priest. No, because I think he has. Oh, he used absolution. Because you guys all ended up with like almost. I think you all had 3 conditions by the end of it.
That's right.
Because
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I know that you guys like fell out of a window. One of you
Yeah.
got like beaten up. Look, DJ. So if you guys ever see DJ in a game of a tabletop RPG, he is an absolute murder hobo. Like DJ is the group himbo, where like his first instinct is like I'm just gonna punch it. which worked out really well in some situations.
We're literally in a greenhouse, and my character is they're arguing like, "You didn't have to punch him. Why did you knock him out unconscious? Now we do." And then like Ryan's character is coming over and can see our silhouettes in the greenhouse arguing, and there's a body slumped over on the floor, and we're like,
God.
It was absolutely wonderful. But at one point in time, DJ had this sick scene where like they move up to the second floor to kind of escape the like puppeteered sleeping people, and they had forgotten DJ, being incredibly subtle, previously had talked to, unbeknownst to the characters, an opium addict. And at one point in time, with incredible subtlety, he was like, "So you got any drugs?" She was like, "I'm going to go now." And just like went upstairs. They had forgotten that she was on the same floor as them. So like they're like, "Oh crap, all the things are coming up from behind." And then she like tries to open the door on the same floor as them and like stumble out. DJ immediately just like runs over and like slams the door shut. Which like her arm was already through the door,
her arm.
so it just like snaps her arm. And then he's like, "Oh crap!" He like opens it and then pushes her back, shoves her, closes the door again. He's holding the door shut. The drunk farmer is like almost up the stairs, so he's like Ryan against the door. He runs. He like drop kicks the farmer down the stairs, and then he's like into the room of safety. They head into the wife's room. Go. They all like bustle in there, close and like bar the door behind them.
Oh, and then there was this one part where I don't remember the details of it, but it was when Ryan's character turned against us.
Oh, absolutely. Oh yeah. So the first time that you enter the wife's room, the wife of the innkeep, who ran away with the circus and then died of like, I don't know, colon cancer or something. I don't remember what it is. A character has a chance to get possessed, like just for one round. And so I enter and I'm like, "Hey, Ryan, could you please roll like a will something or something?" Like, I'm not entirely sure. Let me pull it up again. Where is it?
The equivalent of a wisdom saving throw.
Yeah, like I think it's a observation, an empathy check. An observation empathy check. He fails it. Barely. His character is very good at those as a priest. And so I message him over Zoom. I private message him over Zoom. And I'm like, "Hey, you feel a cold chill run down your spine. And basically, like, I'm just going to let you go wild with this. But the main thing that you think is that the people next to you have betrayed you in some way. Show it subtly, and then gradually increase to the point where you will attack one of them. But you will no longer be possessed after one round of combat." And Ryan played it incredibly well.
It was so good. It was like literally DJ and I were like, "What?"
Yeah, 100%. Like, he like walks over to the bookcase. He like picks up a book and he's like, "So, it's finally come down to this," and everyone's like, "What the crap is that?" And then he's like, and he slowly gets angrier. And then like just
starts
like
literally
the
like
book at DJ.
She throws the book. Della, my character's hiding behind DJ. We're like backing up. We're like, "What?"
Mm-hmm.
It's so good. It's so good.
Of course, DJ succeeds in combat because he's a murder hobo, and so Ryan, like, no real damage is dealt to Ryan or DJ because DJ's just like, "I'm buff. What do you mean?" And then they're all like, "Oh crap!" And the door starts to splinter from the people like hammering down, the like sleepwalkers hammering down the door, and they can smell smoke from the lower ground as they're like trying to burn down the building with everyone inside. So they bust through the window, drop to the ground floor because now they know where the body is, and then like dig up the revenant and go. And it was an absolute blast.
It was so well done.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
Yeah,
it's masterful.
I love Weissen. Weissen as a like module, as a type of RPG, really, really well done. And the concepts and thoughts explained in the book are absolutely wonderful. Like literally, they're like, people are going to die. Like, your characters are going to die. Now, the question is, what do you do when they die? And the answer is very simple. You just make another one. Like, you're literally supposed to be able to make another character in, like, a minute and then be playing again by the end of the session.
Wow.
Now, I don't know if we'll do that for Between the Rows, because Between the Rows we had the idea where it's like, if your character dies, you're off Between the Rows.
Oh, right. I forgot about that aspect of the game.
Like,
I really liked that too. Like
we
like
managed
the
to
show
avoid
cast
avoid
could
death.
narrow down.
Yeah, we managed to avoid death for like the first, like, until the end. But like, if like Sawyer died in episode 1, like, she gets devoured by that thing, you just aren't in the
done.
game anymore.
As in
Yeah.
Sawyer and Lydia.
Yeah,
As
like,
in, like,
Lydia
I
just
wouldn't
playing
play
the
anymore.
episode.
So like it's possible that through this next thing that it narrows down to only a few
Mhm.
people
Like,
or a
it could
couple people
literally
playing at
be-
the end.
Like, the last screen is just me and one other person.
That is so cool
That's-
to me. I love it. I
That's
love
so cool.
it. It's so cutthroat, like and heartless.
Well, yeah, and you know, hey, so I love Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. It is so incredibly in the player's favor. Like, as I said, Track is like a character that's like meant to die, and I'm not sure if I can anymore. Like, it would take a lot of work. Because
really
it's
would.
relatively cheap to, like, even if someone does die, it's relatively cheap to get them back.
Especially if
We've
you have a
seen that
hero in the
happen.
party.
Mm-hmm. Like, the only difference is it's basically the cost of a mortal soul is 100 gold.
That's
Maybe
so
300, depending on how much the diamond is worth.
Right.
Yeah, and
Depending on what spell you're
a part on that thought too is like I'm excited for Bison, but I foresee. So I think D&D 5e or whenever the next edition happens, who knows? D&D 5e I think will be like the paper dungeons main thing, and I don't think that's gonna change.
Oh, no.
But I do see like perceive the paper dungeon in the future as kind of a hub for TTRPG stuff, like whether it be things related to TTRPG stuff, like, you know, having little art streams and stuff here and there, or and this is what I get really excited about, just trying different TTRPGs, like even if it's one time or a series. Like, I love that thought. I think eventually we'll be playing D&D 5e for our main stuff, and then I would even think that most of our side stuff someday, unless it was something like really big produced maybe, I would foresee that maybe most of it will be other TTRPGs, which I really like that thought of, you know, because there are a lot of people out there too that play other TTRPGs besides D&D, and so it's also like giving those people a chance to really enjoy it too, while we can also learn more about those games and like promote them. I just flippin' love that idea.
So, in the anime Full Metal Alchemist, that's right, I'm getting on the weeb nonsense here. The introduction to series 2 through 8, it's one of the most, like, in my mind, well-known monologues in anime, and so Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is a lot of like alchemy, and what the thing is it goes, alchemy, the science of understanding, deconstructing, and reconstructing matter. However, it is not an all-powerful art. It is possible to create it is not possible to create something out of nothing. If one wishes to obtain something of equal value must be given. This is the law of equivalent exchange, the basis of all alchemy. In accordance with this law, there's a taboo among alchemists. Human transmutation is strictly forbidden. For what could equal the value of a human soul? And Dungeons & Dragons is like, a diamond worth 300 gold.
Literally,
It's like
what
that.
in the world is up with that? They should have made it so much harder. So much
Exactly.
more.
And it used to be like resurrecting someone in like 3rd edition, like 1st through 3rd edition. It was like, first of all, 1st edition, if you made it to the point where resurrection is an option, congratulations. You've done it. It's a rare achievement. 3rd edition was a bit easier, but it's like,
I really like
still,
that
like,
too.
Getting,
There's more to
getting
lose,
a diamond worth 300
you know?
gold is like, it's pretty easy. Like,
We've come across 2 dragon hordes at this point.
Yes.
And we're like level 6.
yeah.
Although to be fair, that's also this campaign is a little more centered around that. Like,
Oh yeah, we
especially,
are
like,
wicked wealthy.
We're
For
pretty wealthy.
like we have encountered a lot of money.
Do you remember the beginning of the campaign when Hal was all like, "Guys, we need to be making money. What are we doing? We have made no money so far.
And we're like, we'll just
Like,
kill like
we're
one
not
dragon
gonna
and
make
we're
it."
set.
And we're like, yeah, it's cool. Let me just hit up my mom.
We could literally just go back to whatever that acid dragon's name is. His horde. I forget his name. We could literally just go there again and get more stuff. Like,
Yeah.
if we wanted.
Yeah.
Like, we just have...
Assuming no one else has found it, which wouldn't be.
I'm
like,
sure that it would be
unknown.
gone. And could we mention real quick the taboo of we still don't have a group name?
yes.
Who cares, man? We don't
It's
need it.
gotta happen
It
organically.
hurts.
It's
It
gonna
hurts
happen
me.
on its own, and
just-
it will.
How has it not
I don't think
happened yet?
I don't think it will.
And
I don't think
yes,
it'll
no.
happen.
But
just
here's
on
the
its own.
problem:
Like,
is
Let's
because
get a
we're
bank account, but
still
we don't have a group name, so...
we're still not a full team yet.
We don't even like each other
That's
most
fact.
of the time.
Havel's sister just joined...
We
or not
haven't
Havel's,
earned it
Catherine's
yet.
sister just joined us.
Dude, we haven't earned it yet. We have to earn it.
You know,
Catherine's
I
sister
don't know.
just joined us too, which
I don't know.
changes
Killing the
dynamic.
tyrannical leader. I think that's pretty.
that's like a
name-worthy.
Tuesday, Drew.
Wait, I just thought of a group name. Trap Kings.
So,
What?
It would be more
um,
like Trap King.
so Nil
Catherine
is
brought
the
up
trap
a
king.
wonderful point. So in 5th edition, it's like, oh, you have like 300 gold worth of diamonds? Great. In previous editions, it was like, all right, so you want to resurrect your friend. This is a teleportation circle. It'll bring you to hell. Bring them back. Like, that
love
was
it.
how you resurrected people. Was like, you
That's
had to Orpheus venture into the underworld to, like, physically rip them out of the maw of a demon and, like, reconstruct their body out of the souls of the damned and then, like, carry them bodily out of hell. Like,
That's just every other Wednesday for Renai.
100%. I mean, for Renaya, resurrecting
Fair.
people is easy in 3rd edition. You're just like, hey, sugar daddy, I want this guy back alive. And he's like, anything for you, babe. Anything. Just, send me some more feet pics. Like,
Gosh. Ew.
Grotz the incel.
Wow.
Excuse me,
Grotz,
that's more of a Jubilex thing, I forgot.
This is a feet thing.
But yeah, it's so hard
my
to die in
goodness.
5th edition.
Like, yeah, to permanently die.
It's very, very difficult.
Now, see, I'm scared because if Edward dies, yeah, they could resurrect him, but will they?
No,
I mean,
they-
100%.
we
The
brought-
one who
we-
does
I
it is
mean-
me.
I mean, yeah. I was gonna say you guys brought back Havel. I think they would bring back Edward.
They'd be like, oh, thank goodness. He's out of the way now.
So I would love to run either a mini campaign or like even just a one shot that is D&D but with the meat grinder rule set. So
It's like every encounter is deadly.
well, it's already that. Meat grinder is death
wait,
saves require a 15 or higher.
Yep, yeah.
And long
Don't you also
rests
roll-
don't
you
heal
roll-
you for full. Long rests use your
hit die.
hit die.
Wow.
How do you get
I like
that
that?
back?
It's like hardcore
Um,
Minecraft.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
I don't remember. Do I have it on me?
High five.
I should. Let me look through my random bookshelf. It's
You
gotta
can do
be
it,
on
Aaron.
One of these. No, that's Waterdeep. Ah, here it is. Tomb of Annihilation. Let me see if I can find it. Let's see. Oh, Meat Grinder. Ah, I opened right to the page. 10 out of 10, me.
You're so good at this game.
Roll a 15 or higher. Oh, that might be all it is. But I would have it be like, oh man, how would I want to do that?
See, I would almost personally like. I think 15 or higher like death saves, and like a long rest only heals you like up to half, and then if you wanted to, you could spend hit die
Yeah.
to get up higher.
Yeah, something like that. Either that or you would just, as a DM, have to make long rests few and far between, and you only recharge 25% of your hit dice on a long rest instead of half.
Yeah, maybe.
So, like, because, like, using a short rest to heal, like, to full health is laughably easy for, like, a lot of classes if you have average health. Like,
Sure.
And then it's like, oh, what are you gonna do? I just 2 long rests and I have all of my hit die back and stuff like that.
And I would guess the meat grinder thing would be more of like a dungeon, like
Oh,
a bunch
yeah.
of monsters.
Heck, I could just
and,
run
like,
Tomb of Annihilation. I'd be
that
down.
could be fun.
I've
Dude,
ran
honestly,
the start of Tomb of Annihilation before.
that'd be pretty darn fun.
Or
That'd be
Tomb
pretty
of
darn
Horrors.
fun.
I could pick up like the original like Tomb of Horrors module for that they changed into 5th edition.
I was gonna say yeah, changed. That'd be fun.
There's so many ideas. Oh,
There's a 1,001 things that I can do here.
guys, I'm so excited to see like in a few years where this ends up. Man, like what we'll be doing, all the neat little side stuffs that we end up getting to do.
I mean,
So
yeah,
we're getting
one
there. Also,
1 year of Paper Dungeon already. You know?
talking, 1 year. Isn't that crazy?
crazy.
Working
Talking
on
to
it,
side
Maz.
stuff.
All right.
I saw Maz
We're
say,
trying.
yes, listen. I'll get to that.
I don't know when we'll get to
So-
a mod, like
Right.
a mod
We're working on
pack
this-
for it. But hey, we're working on the server. We actually,
Right,
by all technicality, we have a server.
we have so what they're talking
It's
about
a-
right now is a Minecraft server.
In the chat.
Yes, a Minecraft server that the Paper Dungeon would run that some population of people would have access to, probably subs or something like that. But it's in the works. It's in the works someday probably. It's just it's hard to say dates. But
Honestly,
speaking
I
of
don't
side
think
stuff,
that it would be that difficult.
I don't think
to
it would
do.
either. We'll have to think about it. I'll have to look into that more. I really want it to happen.
Well,
My heart
you can
is
link-
jumping.
So you can link your Discord to your Twitch and stuff. Like I'm in a different
Yes.
Twitch streams Minecraft server.
Mm,
And what
mhm.
it is like once you have it linked, it recognizes if you are subbed to like this channel, and if you are, then it gives you access to another. Like it opens up some of the chat options, one of which contains the link to the Minecraft server,
I love that. Yeah.
and that was just
Yeah.
super smooth.
And like I know a lot of other people have that, so that'll definitely be something. But I saw Maz mention that he likes this style of stream. I do too, where it's just kind of behind the scenes and talking. Now we have quite a bit parts of something like this for specifically the man campaign.
The man can't. It is the man.
The main.
Have you seen
The man,
Cather?
Cather himself. Yes,
The
his
man
campaign.
himself.
We have something similar like this that we have been thinking about for quite a long time for the main campaign called the Filing Cabinet. We've done a couple episodes in person, but it would be just slightly different, like in field via Zoom. And so, if you guys like this, let us know. And I feel like something like this for the main show would be so flippin' fun. It would just
Oh,
be
it'd be
fun.
so hard. I want to say everything.
I know, it's so hard. It's so hard. There's like so many things you could say.
But yes, the filing cabinet was an idea that we had a while ago.
We had it when we were coming up with the show, really,
That,
like all together.
What
in a
did-
general sense, would look like this.
What did Nightbot?
Just us kind of just hanging out and talking. What?
How did that Nightbot trigger happen?
What?
Which
one?
So whenever somebody says guys,
Seriously?
yes,
Because
whenever
somebody
says-
is.
I wrote one time FUYX
Yeah.
instead of guys, and I think Troy, your boy Troy,
Yeah. Your boy
early
Troy.
mod of the show, just put that in there. And so
That's
whenever
why I
anybody
never knew that
ever
was a
says
thing.
guys, it says that.
This
I
is
never
this
knew
is
that.
wise.
You
And
are
it's-
immortalized in your failures, Grant.
I know, it's painful every time I see it, because I'm like, yeah, haha.
I made a typo.
I
now
made a
everyone will
typo.
make fun of me.
It's
Now-
like,
now
it's
it is-
immortalized.
Yeah, it's immortalized. That's right.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But I'm excited about the filing cabinet. There's a lot of Like, that would be a place where we could talk more in depth about the story, about our characters, about what they're thinking, about what they're feeling, about what we think and feel, and not to reveal any secrets, you know, but
like,
it's
we also
something
wanted it
that
to be,
we
like,
wanted to do for a while.
like something that would be like we can talk more about like how we got into Dungeons and Dragons and like previous things that we've done and stuff like that. Because I know, like, I hate to be that guy, but like my kind of story of how I got into D&D, it's a legit journey, and like means a lot to me, and I would love to like get that out there and kind of see more background like about like the players themselves.
Yes,
that interests me whenever I see it and stuff like that.
I'm humored by my story of how I got into D&D.
Oh, mine's silly too.
well,
Yeah.
I'd love to have like the first few filing cabinet episodes be dedicated towards the formation of our journey with D&D and the formation of the show and the characters and stuff. I'd love that, you know, because when the show has like stuff, we've been doing this stuff. We have like we have hundreds of hours of
a lot of
material now.
A lot.
And I think the thing that would really bring this to the next level for our experience, for the audience, for the people in chat, for whoever, would be us being able to get excited about the stuff, whether it be D&D or TTRPGs, and the stuff in the campaign. Like, getting excited together, talking about it. Like, we already do that outside of the stream, and it's part of the thing that brings the magic to the deal. So, like, we really want to bring everybody else into that magic. I love that thought. I love it.
This is so this isn't as important. Grant, I just remember this. We have like over 200 hours worth of content.
Yeah, I was looking over our overall time streamed, and I think it was over 300 by now.
Yeah.
We're crazy.
That's
Wait, I'm curious. I might be wrong. It's probably in the 200s, maybe. But I literally looked
it's
it
at
up
least
today.
it's at least in the 200s between like all 40 episodes plus one shots plus some of the side series
Plus everything else.
Plus
It's
the few
quite a
times
bit.
that we've streamed on like Wednesdays and stuff.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Like between the rows, table scraps, like
Mhm.
that's
That stream where you and Grant figured out how to do tech stuff like at 8 in the morning.
I was
remember that.
there.
I
I
wasn't.
remember that.
Um,
oh
Was
yes,
it-
that was
Was it
myself,
Ryan?
and
Oh.
Yeah.
Lydia. Yeah.
I don't think we kept that, which breaks my heart.
was fun.
I think
Well,
that was lost to the abyss.
theoretically speaking, that might be on Ryan's PC still, assuming that he
Dude,
didn't
look
delete
for
it.
it. It's in oblivion right now,
Right.
but look
I mean,
for
more
it.
likely
years
than
in the
not.
future, we'll have to dig and find stuff like this.
I could
Just-
honestly, I could
yes.
probably just find it pretty easily because assuming that he never did anything with it, it would just be like an unnamed video in his videos folder.
I
on
would
his-
totally.
on his
I
PC.
think I would be down to upload it too. Just be like early tech stuff. Like it would just be such a lame video, but I love those memories of like, I just
Well,
love the
I went
feeling
back-
of trying to put this thing together.
No,
like, it's
when
so
I was going back for
charming. It's
anniversary
like-
stuff, and I found the video that Grant you sent of you and Drew when you first finished the theme song.
Isn't
You
that
guys are
crazy?
so freaking cute.
Oh.
You're so little.
I know. It's crazy.
We're-
to think.
we're
It was
little
over
guys.
a year ago now.
We're the fun little music guys.
I
You know, we're
looked
just
in-
having a good time.
I always date the stuff that I write down in notebooks, and I had a old composition notebook that I would use for all my paper dungeon stuff, and I still have it. And I was looking back. I was on a call with Drew. I think it was yesterday even.
Yeah.
And I was looking back, and the earliest dated the paper dungeon thing I had was May 27th of 2020, which is crazy. That's so early.
Crazy.
That's so long ago. And there was a note before that too of like a to-do list, but I didn't date it, so it could have been even earlier. But like, it's just crazy how long it's been.
Yeah.
Doing this thing step by
In,
step.
in concept,
Well-
the paper dungeon concept has existed for like a year and a half.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's so fun finding the old because I found one and it was I took a video of our screen because it was all of us on call together, which rarely happens anymore. and the thing was that I was recording it for was because I had put my name tag in Zoom as Immortal, and you all slowly gradually changed your names to be like Lydia do be immortal though. Why is Lydia's kind of sus? All your names were changed to that, and it's one of my
Yes.
favorite videos.
Oh, I
That's
love
so sweet.
our
I remember that.
conversations when we're on a Zoom call, but we're talking to each other through a different format. Like at one point in time, we were just calling
Among
each
Us.
other on the phone,
We're on a Zoom call, but we're like, hey, Aaron.
and we're just all talking at once. And then like I at one point in time just linked like
I have the
5
voicemails.
people's, and like I would
I
call
remember
someone
that.
as soon as they picked up a call for someone else, so that way I would go to voicemail instead, and then just leave voicemails that's like talking about their conversation. It was
I have like a voicemail of Ryan being like, Lydia, I'm trapped, Lydia, help me, ah! And then it hangs up, and then the next one's Aaron goes, don't believe anything Ryan just told you.
Yes. I love it. I love thinking back. We used to, when we started this and the cast was just getting to know each other, like Lydia and Hannah hadn't been with us for super long. We used to play Among Us every now and then.
Not
And it was-
often.
Not often. Not
I think
many
we played it, like,
times, but
twice.
those memories, or 3 times, something like
two
that.
or 3 times, yeah.
And man, those memories are so good. It was just us trying to throw together this little show, and like, it's like time just passes so quick, and then before you know it, you're like, it's like normal, you know? Like now it's normal that we do it every week, and we all have our little jobs, and like,
I
we're
remember I was
brainstorming a lot of different things that's going to happen, and we know they're actually gonna happen now. Like it's
Grant.
just such a different feel.
Is
Yeah.
it available, like, right now? What I
What?
sent you this morning?
It is. Some of them are actually being processed by Twitch right now.
Ugh,
but
rude.
I believe the upgrades and then Spite Night is available. So you
Yeah,
can.
I saw
You can
Smite
say
Night
it.
was Smite Night was.
Say it, Lydia.
Your girl did some emote making this morning at 6 a.m, and they are now available in the dead.
Are they?
Yeah, Grant's doing them right now.
Oh,
Yeah,
so-
there's
So
yeah,
Ginger
Smite
is a
Night.
red squirrel. Lydia Corn is a little bigger, and there's a Smite Night emote
Smite Night
that Lydia
Which-
made.
is just amazing.
That's solid. That's quality.
Smite Night.
And there's some more there. There's some more being processed right now.
Oh yeah, there are some more being processed right now, but we won't tell you until later.
This is a secret.
But
Have we
right now,
ever-
so we only have 3 slots available with Twitch though, and eventually once we start upgrading, because it takes sub points, so the more subs we have, the more emotes we can have, and it's a max of 5. So right now we only have 3 slots, but eventually Dungeoneers will have 5 in there, and then if one day we ever get partner, which would be pretty cool, which is crazy that that's even on our minds a tiny bit, then we could have all of the little emotes we want. And that is such a cool thought. That would be a lot of fun. Wouldn't it, guys? Wouldn't it be fun?
No, it'd be terrible. I don't
It'd be
like
the
it.
Shut
worst.
up, Aaron.
It'd be really boring.
I
Like,
hate it.
yeah.
So, have we ever shared any of the like videos or pictures that we've taken outside of the Idaho trip?
I don't think so.
Because I think maybe my favorite image on my phone is just, it's a picture. I think it's a selfie. What is it? It's when Grant's car broke down,
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
and we were
Yes.
messaging the people in Idaho, because so basically Lydia had to fly to Lincoln, Nebraska, right?
Omaha.
Omaha, excuse
Omaha.
me.
I flew from Indiana to Nebraska
Mhm.
to meet
then-
up with Aaron
And
and
then we
Grant.
drove down
and
from
Drew.
our city to
And then
Omaha,
we
to
were going
bring
to
her
drive from
back.
Nebraska to Idaho.
and then we would drive from our town to a different city to fly to Idaho. And on the way there, we took Grant's car.
That
And
poor
it-
little guy.
And it's the best thing I remember, and this is so on me. Grant gets in the car and we're driving, and his emergency light comes on, his like warning check engine light, and he's like, Aaron, the check engine light came on. I'm like, Grant, I don't think I've ever been in a car that didn't have the check engine light on. We'll be fine. And we're driving, we're like halfway
Yep.
there,
Yep.
and he's like,
Gosh.
Aaron, it's having trouble moving right now. I think we're overheating. And sure enough, like the engine heat was like through the roof. So we pull into a gas station, we get coolant.
Wait, I had to fill it with a bunch of water bottles from
Yeah,
the back
we just had
first.
water bottles in the back that we were
The
filling
radiator
with
was
coolant.
empty. It
And
was
so
like,
we managed to
No
get to the
I have
gas
the
station.
picture of us at the car.
Yep, we get the coolant. We buy like 5 cans of like
Whole jugs.
coolant.
We're just dumping coolant into the
Because
car,
I'm
and
like-
it'll just
I'm
leak,
like,
and then
Grant-
just
So
dump
bad.
on.
I'm like, Grant, we don't have an option. Lydia will be at the airport, and we can't not pick her up.
I'm like, my car is gonna poop.
So we get down, we get Lydia in the car. We're
I wanna
driving
try to
back.
show it.
We're driving back, and then we're busting down the highway. We're all set. We've got cans upon cans of coolant, and we're blasting tunes. I have a huge
JBL speaker.
I had a huge
Had,
speaker that was
Which
lost
we
on this
got lost
trip.
on
We don't
this
know
trip.
how or where it went.
Really
And
don't.
then,
Aren't you
then
guys
Grant
pretty sure
just
you
goes,
left it on the side of the road by accident?
No, I think Lydia, were you the one who was like, guys, behind us or something like that? Because we were going so
right.
fast. We look in the
We
rearview
get Lydia.
mirror,
We're on the way back.
and it is solid smoke. Because we were moving so
Hold on,
fast that
you
all the
left
smoke
out
was
a part.
behind us.
You left out a part. Before this, we had pulled over to put more coolant in after we got Lydia, and we dropped the cap of the coolant radiator. Like the
freaking-
radiator cap was
I tried
missing.
to
We dropped
deadlift
it.
the car.
I
Oh,
dropped
it was
it into the
such a
engine
mess.
because when I unscrewed it, this hot goop, like dark, not the color of coolant, like this hot goop, just like bubbled and spewed out of the radiator, which I've never
Oh,
seen
it was
before.
So bad.
Well, it's
So
a-
I dropped the
The
thing out
oil
of
got
shock.
gosh dang mixed
We
in.
spent probably half an hour to 40 minutes searching for this cat.
I
and
found it.
Grant crawled under the car to try and find it.
Aaron
on the
found
side of
it
the road.
in the wheel well. It was like on top of the tire or like behind it
No,
somehow.
it
I don't
had
even know.
fallen into where the wheel like indent is, like next to the axle. And it was just
Yes.
sitting on the inner rim of the wheel. And I just look in and I look at the engine and I'm like, so we dropped it there, and it went down, and there's nothing below, but there's an open gap. And then I just look around and I look at the inside of the wheel. I'm like, is this it?
Finally!
But like, so we
So
fill
that
it back
had
up
just
with coolant. That
happened.
had just happened, and we're like, well,
Just
we've
happened.
gotta
We're like
keep
on the
going.
road again.
So we're driving, and then we can't see behind us because we're just billowing smoke.
There's so much
Just
smoke.
white smoke.
Just
I
white
looked in
It's
my
just
rear.
smoke.
And so,
Lydia's like,
so,
Grant, I looked in
Guys?
my rear view mirror and there's just white smoke. Just 2 plumes of it.
so
was
Grant
so
like wheeled over to the side of the road, and we're like, we gotta get out. So we all get out of this car, and I'm still blasting music from my speaker, and it was like, I think I even switched it to like, we didn't start the fire or something like that. And then
We all thought it was gonna like blow or something.
on over Snapchat, they're like, guys, how's it going? Are you like okay? And I just send them a picture. I have it saved on my phone, and it's Grant, and he's standing like this next to the car, and Lydia has her hands on her hips, smiling, and it just says, "We're on fire." And in the background, there's
Yes.
the car and just smoke coming out of the hood.
I love it. And guys,
Well,
when we
wait.
opened the hood, it was smoking, but somehow something popped and it looked like it looked like the
sludge.
car
It's bad.
diarrhea'd on
It's
itself,
so
man.
bad.
Like there was just the sludge, like
But then-
spewed all over the engine in the back of the engine compartment. It was like
So-
flipping wild.
We're pulled over on the road, and we're just waiting for Grant's mom to come and save us. So Grant's mom does come and save us. We ended up partying in the car drinking Sprite. It was
Oh
great.
yeah, I'm pretty sure that
And-
you have the videos of that.
Yeah,
I have
I
a
have
video
that
of like there's music playing. Aaron has Sprite and we're all cheering and we like cheers and he's
I have a
chugging it
Sprite.
and Lydia starts chugging it with her eyes wide open. It's such a good and it was
But then-
dark outside by now. It
So
was, like,
so we
night.
get rescued by Grant's mom, but then on the way back, his mom gets pulled over.
Oh right.
Oh,
it was like right
yes,
when we
that's
got in
right.
town. I forgot about that.
But I'm gonna
This
try
was a-
to I'm gonna
what was
try
it?
to show it. This is
It
my
was like-
favorite picture. This is the height difference of me and Drew. Let me see if I can focus.
And that's
Yep,
like
yep.
slouched,
I remember
too.
that we visited Drew at his
Yeah.
work.
So all
Oh
this
my
was
gosh,
happening.
my
All this was
heart.
happening, and I was at work, and our plan was they were gonna show up at like 6 o'clock at night, get some dinner. It was gonna be great. You know, I would get to talk to them for a little bit, and then, but because I'm at work, I'm not looking at my phone, And so it's getting like to 9:00, 9:30. Like we're getting ready to close. I'm like, where the heck are my friends? What happened? And sure enough, shortly before we closed, like I think we just closed the kitchen when you guys walked in. I'm just
So,
like, oh my gosh, they're okay.
Above
That was also the first time all of us had met Lydia in person.
Oh, yeah.
It was like so fun and so sweet. And then we
Wow.
all got to drive together to Idaho. And then we met the rest of the cast for the first time. It was like,
It was-
well,
oh, man.
Hannah.
I
like,
miss Lydia hugs.
So
Lydia hugs are great.
now I
I'm so
think
excited for the
someone-
next time we all.
I think
get
it
to
was
see each other
Maz
again.
asked how we all met. Basically, the Norfolk gang, which is me, Drew, Grant, DJ, Ryan. We had already known each other from like high
For
school.
years.
Drew knew
We've played
DJ
D&D for
because they're
years.
brothers. We've played D&D
If you didn't know that,
before.
you know now.
Yeah, they're
DJ
related,
and Drew are
believe it or
brothers.
not. Yeah, the two
Fun
eye
fact,
candies
if-
we know.
If you did it, somehow know it. You know, that's how you know.
And then DJ contacted me. He was like quarantine stuff was happening. He was like, "Yo, Aaron, want to play some D&D on Zoom?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then after that game, we were like, "Do you want like DJ contacted me again?" He was like, "We could like run a Twitch stream on this. Like we could do it over the internet." And I was like, "Okay." And then they asked me, "Hey, Aaron, what? You had like a store name in mind, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they were like, "What is it?" And I was like, "The Paper Dungeon." They're like, "Sick. That's what we're gonna call it." And then we were like, "Well, we don't want it to be an absolute sausage fest, so we should probably get some girls." And TikTok was like just becoming big at that point in time, so
We didn't know
because of
any
quarantine.
girls.
we knew
that-
no female.
Wait.
Like, yeah. Yeah,
We're a bunch of dweebs, man.
And so DJ found Lydia and Hannah on TikTok. Well, I think DJ,
Well-
Ryan, pretty much the people who have TikTok. I don't have it down.
We had found
I don't
Lydia
like it.
first.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
guys
we
found
found
me,
Lydia first.
and then
Lydia
I was
recommended
part.
Hannah.
I was part
Oh,
of the
yeah,
that's
Discord
because
group.
we found Lydia and then
I was part of a Discord group that had a bunch of D&D TikTok people, and I put
Right.
a message out saying, "Hey, is there any ladies out there that want to come play in this campaign with me?" And Hannah was the first to respond.
And I think we
Yeah.
had already seen Hannah's profile, but after Lydia said something, then we're like, oh, yeah, awesome. She seems
'Cause-
great.
yeah, because originally we had a different option, but like that person never got back to us.
Yeah.
And then,
Which I'm glad about, because honestly, you guys are perfect fit.
yeah, and then, then we just played Dungeons and Dragons, and then we knew each other.
We had some one-shots with them that were like test one-shots, like kind of
It
like
was like,
trying,
hey,
but
do we
not
vibe?
like that.
Yeah.
Are you okay with
It was
that?
so fun. I wish we would have kept them. What's wrong with us?
I still have
Sure.
Ameli's character sheet, and
I
I still
don't-
remember
oh,
how
I'm
nobody
so
could
upset.
pronounce her
I don't
name.
think we did we record
We
those?
didn't. I remember. I think we talked about it, then we're like, nah, we'll never want it. And just guys, if you're ever planning on making anything,
Record everything.
document it, man. Document
Mhm.
the thing, because later on you'll want those things, man. You
Behind
really
the scenes
will.
stuff is cool.
Behind the scenes is so neat, and like looking back at the past. And so, then everything happened. Then we started talking more, and then we got on the show, and then we all met each other. And now we're here, and I'm so excited for the next time we get to meet up, because like it's going
Yeah.
to be
I mean-
so
in the
flippin'
quality,
fun.
in the quality of things that we have produced, there's of course the first and sequel video that we have that stands above all else that we have ever taped, which is Grant in the tunnel.
Yes.
Grant in the
everything
tunnel.
else,
The Dungeoneers haven't seen
Oh my
this.
gosh, can I put that in the Discord when we finish? When
Yes.
we wrap
Now,
up
so
this?
I hope you can, because for some reason Discord has this weird thing about putting in videos that are like
File
long.
size.
It's really frustrating.
Grant
Okay,
in
I'll
the
see what I
tunnel
can
will
do. If
go
I can
down
put it in
history.
the Discord, it'll be in the Discord.
But basically, we're going through a tunnel, and I'm driving, and Grant just goes, "Aaron, honk! You have to honk in the tunnel." And I go, "You can't tell me what to do." And then he just you talk about feral Tarak. Feral Grant DeFore occurred in this tunnel, and at the end,
Wait, I'm gonna try to play it.
God, the scream of despair.
Sound. And then there's the part 2 with Drew, right?
Yeah, there's the part true. The part.
Well, I
the
think
part-
Aaron's
Part
driving,
true.
but Drew's in
Well,
the
yeah,
passenger
no.
seat.
Well, see,
Okay.
because I was in the passenger seat for both of them.
Do you have the video pulled up?
Play the audio.
I have the video pulled up. Do
Let's
you
play
want
the
to
audio.
try to see if we can hear it?
Tunnel time. Honk, Aaron. Aaron, honk.
You can't tell me.
Drew, make him honk. We have the honk in the tunnel.
Tell me.
Honk.
What to do?
No.
And then
And then there's the sequel.
and then
There's
there's
part
a sequel.
2. There's part 2
There's
where,
a
where his
sequel.
despair
And the
is almost
video is so
overwhelming.
funny
Yeah,
too.
yeah. Where we so the first one was when we were driving to Idaho, and the second one is when
got
we're
it.
driving back home.
In the same tunnel.
Same
got
tunnel,
it.
yeah, because we
Ready?
drove the same way.
We have like 10 seconds. You have power over the situation, Drew. Drew, you just have to reach over. You just have to reach over and hit the horn, bro. It's right there. What?
See, it's more entertaining to hear Grant's reaction, though.
How'd you miss it again?
I was so sad.
The pain in his voice.
The agony.
Oh,
Oh,
God,
my
this
goodness.
is what gets views, Grant. Legitimate
I know.
suffering.
Oh
that,
my
that-
gosh.
That video is, I think, the greatest thing
To exist.
I've ever seen.
Ever.
And I was in the video.
No, I'm trying to think if that would even work as TikTok, or if it should just be this eldritch video that exists
Yeah,
forever.
the dark web, the paper dungeon.
Yeah, right.
Oh man.
The dark dungeon.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Darkest Dungeon is already copyright though, so we can't take
Well,
that.
okay.
Darkest
I'll also,
dungeon.
I
Not the
think
dark
it's worth
dungeon.
mentioning. We also, at some point, want to do things with like behind the scenes stuff. It's just so it's like impossible to do right now. But one day maybe, so that's fun.
We're working
like-
on it.
Like around the session, like just us being with each other, because there's so many quirky moments that happen
Oh
that
my
are just
God.
so golden that we wish we could share with you guys.
There was a
like,
it has to exist. I don't even know if we recorded it, but me doing impressions of the rest of the cast.
dude, we do
That-
have your
that
Havel
made
impression
me
somewhere.
laugh.
I think we
That
totally
was-
have your Havel impression.
That
I'd like to
the
think so.
Havel impression was so
It's
good.
so good.
Oh man.
Long story short, we have a whole lot of stuff we want to do, and we're excited to do it, and we're glad you're here for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, Grant, today is a Wednesday,
Hmm.
which I mean that means that I think that you stream.
I usually
Final
stream
Fantasy?
on Wednesdays. I am going on a trip tomorrow, over the weekend, and I have some things I need to accomplish before that trip, so I will not be streaming on File a Grant today. Sorry, everybody. But Wednesday evenings are usually the evenings that I get to stream File a Grant. So if you want to check out File a Grant, just type in at PHILOGRANT in the Twitch surf bar. It's fun.
surf
It's
bar.
a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, guys, for real. A lot of the people in chat actually are the ones that are chilling with me on File a Grant.
Mhm.
But if you hear
Um,
about this some other
The
time-
main question
Matt, stop
was like we've been running for 2 hours and 40 minutes, give or take.
Give or take.
Wow, it doesn't feel like that long.
I mean, it never does.
It never does. And our main goal was like hit 2 hours, see where we go from there.
Our original goal was to hit 1 hour.
Yeah, look, that was our easy win button. You got to take them when you can get them. All right.
Right.
We covered
Um,
so many topics.
Yeah.
My goodness.
So I think that this is around time when we should probably wrap things up. So
Yeah.
we will probably, this will almost definitely happen again. Pretty much the talking streams will be whenever it's like we can't really play the campaign, so let's just hang out. If I can't get on average, we'll probably have at least me and Lydia because we don't do anything.
We do things just at our computer.
Yeah, it's
And
just we happen
all
to
of
be here.
all of the little chill table scraps streams are canonically called table talks, right? Because that's so cute.
I don't know if we can confirm that, but there's a high chance. I don't know when or if we will do another Q&A stream.
Okay.
As
Okay.
answer to Maz's
'Cause-
question.
Filing cabinet will be more Q&A, I'm sure.
Mhm.
Like filing
Oh,
cabinet will
100%.
be our big, like, this is our talk show.
Yeah.
And then we can have table talks, which is more just like, hey guys, up and down.
Yeah, let's hang out and talk about a thing. So this
Yeah.
will almost definitely happen again. if it is just me or Lydia, or if it is just me, because now that I now know how to run the stream myself, and apparently, and so far, it hasn't
Doing
been
pretty alright.
too bad.
There've only been a couple moments that I've noticed a bit of lagging.
Oh, the lag, yeah, that's just gonna happen.
But that's right.
There's nothing I can do about that. But if it's just me, it will probably be me like formatting PDFs of homebrew content for the Paper Dungeon and talking about stuff like that, or doing art of NPCs or characters. We might do like joint art streams at some point in time with me and Lydia, because she is infinitely better than me at it. And you can watch me not know how to art, but pull off something that isn't too terrible. Who knows what we'll do? Honestly, we might do like specialized streams in the future where it's just me and Grant, and he talks about like music theory, or Grant and Drew, the music crew, where they talk about like how they've produced their music and what all their process is. They might even compose something. Who knows?
Whoa, wouldn't that be fire?
100% compose something on a table scraps that we then use in the campaign.
Yes.
That-
I'd be role-playing as Edward the whole time.
Of course.
Oh, can I share my idea for table scraps?
Sure.
I really want to do a thing where me and Aaron get on a call, and I don't have any plans, and I DM a session, and the whole thing is improv, and
It's
I
just
think it
me
would be
telling
really
Grant
funny.
how to DM.
Yes, we've
It
would
done.
be
Yes,
so
Grant has talked to me
scuffed.
about this
It would be so great. It would be like this is the analogy I use. A child at a McDonald's play palace, and then there's the mom who has to try to keep an eye on the child, but she might lose the child within the play palace, and so she has to figure out where the child is so the child doesn't hurt themselves. That's what I imagine this would be like.
Fair.
And I really want to do it.
It could also be like me and DJ get on and talk about like DM theory and how we do combat and stuff like that, or Ryan with like voice acting or playing characters and drama and things like that. I mean, Hannah talking about like drama stuff and art.
Basically, Aaron will host a variety.
Yeah, I'll
hour
host a
of sorts.
show where sometimes we play Dungeons and Dragons and sometimes we talk about Dungeons and Dragons. That's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it.
But yeah, so who knows? Hopefully, I'm going to aim for like afternoons on Wednesdays, starting at like 1 CST or 2 CST, and just whoever can show up on that day will show up. I hope that everyone had fun.
I did.
I had a blast. It was great talking with everybody. And
Table Scraps should have its own outro.
look, I think I already talked to you about that.
Really?
Oh, well, you mean like a good luck and Godspeed kind of thing?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
I mean, hey, Will mentioned. I thought you were talking about like the intro, outro, like separate like music or something like that. Like
Oh, well,
music
that's
and
inevitable.
things.
That will happen someday. We have
Um,
talked about this.
But yeah, like a little like this is table scraps.
I just want that. I want us to clip that and just play that.
Yeah, it'd be sick.
But we love all of you as well. Thank you for surviving through our memery and conversations, and probably watching me try to figure out how to end a stream.
There's a big button that
hit
says
the-
end stream and it's
you
red.
hit the end stream button.
You can do it.
Big
Okay, hold
red
on.
button and
I
it
can
says
do a
end
thing.
stream.
Is there any way to do a slow fade on voice? Is that a thing that's possible?
I really wish. It might be. I don't know. I'm still a baby streamer.
Aside from just clicking on the fader and moving it.
All right.
Try to do it.
Okay, hold on. Okay, so theoretically, thanks everyone for showing up to the stream.
Thank you.
Everyone else, talk and
We
do
love
cool
you guys.
Stuff.
Oh, he said it. He said
And
it.
he did the thing.
He said it.
Woo! Yeah, we're
So
having.
cool. The fading.